All right, welcome back, True Seeker. It's the Sunday night show. It's May 1st, 2022. It's the birthday of the Illuminati, founded by Adam Weishaupt on this day in 1776, just before the American Revolution. Did a live stream about that earlier today on GematriaEffectNews 25. Again, I do have a number of channels. In the weeks ahead, I'll probably start using Gematria Effect News 22 because it's the news channel that has the most subscribers, so it reaches the most people. But I'll probably start using that again after May 15th. On May 15th, the strike will drop. It had two strikes on it, and I've hardly used it at all for the last 3 months because that's the way it works on YouTube. If you get a strike, it stays up on the channel for 3 months. If you get another strike, you have two strikes and then you're suspended for 2 weeks. And then if you get a third strike before those two strikes expire, then you lose your whole channel. So the strategy right now is to try to juggle four channels, keep any of them from getting deleted. And I started that strategy with Gematria Effect News 22. So we will be getting the channel back May 15th because it has close to 40,000 subs right now. I'll probably start using that one a lot more again. So make sure you're subscribed to 22, 23, 24, 25, Gematria Effect Sports. I do use all channels. And again, since this is the Sunday night show, it's the one where people participate. If you want to be a part of the show tonight, send me an email, GematriaEffectNews@gmail.com. Again, GematriaEffectNews@gmail.com. Just put show in the title. And again, any and all people are welcome. I'd love to hear from the people who were with us in Oklahoma City. That would be awesome. And I titled tonight's show, has has there ever been a time where it felt more un-American in America? And again, I asked that because of a number of things. You know, the First Amendment's under attack in a big way. It's been going on ever since, for all of the 21st century, the First Amendment's been under attack, and it's just been getting worse and worse with time. And I mean, it was really under attack in other parts of history, but the 21st century has really been bad for the First Amendment. The Second Amendment's been under attack for even longer than the time it has been in the 21st century, but the Second Amendment's so heavily censored. And I mean, even this platform, or these platforms, we are broadcasting on YouTube and Facebook tonight. Both platforms I've been censored on many times. But I mean, these two platforms do not respect the First or Second Amendment. You would think that these companies were headquartered out of a different country than America, but they are. They're from here in the United States of America, as hard as it is to believe. And again, just one of the stories this week, just adding to the un-American theme, our government has established a disinformation governance board. They want to further enhance censorship online by targeting what the government sees as misinformation. And you know, the problem is, I mean, the Walking Dead, who are the American people, most of them, you know, sadly, they're in favor of these things. It's like you wouldn't even believe that these people were raised as Americans, and there is something to think about with that. I mean, what kind of people is America raising? It's certainly not people that ever read the Constitution or supposedly what the founding of the country was about, even though that all seems part of his story, which is mostly story. But still, you'd think on the stories and history we're brought up on, there'd be more respect for the things that are under serious fire. And again, if you're new here, we talk about gematria all the time. It's the code of the Cabal. It's the language of the Jesuits, letters and numbers, which comes right from Kabbalah. Again, you study the Jesuits, you study this knowledge, you realize it all went into effect in the 16th century. The Jesuits were created, the English language was standardized as we know it now, the Gregorian calendar rolled out, and pretty much from then up to now, the entire history has been by the numbers. But look at who they appointed to head the Disinformation Governance Board. A Jesuit, Georgetown educated, Nina Jankowicz. And notice the gematria of her name, 201, like the Jesuit order. Same number you'll find all over the big tech companies that are already censoring. Google, headed by Sundar Pichai, 201. And when does Google celebrate their birthday? The same day the Jesuits are recognized by Roman history. But again, day after day, just more and more evidence piles that it is the Jesuits undermining what we consider American values, such as freedom of speech, such as the Second Amendment. And day after day, the same type of number rituals persist. And again, tonight's topic: has there ever been a time that felt more un-American than right now? So, I mean, the two top amendments under serious fire, and there is a lot more to say, but I've already said a lot. I've been busy making videos in the past week, so I don't want to be too redundant. Um, what I am going to do is check in and see if people want to participate. And I should also note, I did mention earlier that Jeff Young was going to do the guitar lesson tonight. We're actually going to do that next week. Jeff Young, he's got Sweet Lady tonight. He's got to take care of his Sweet Lady. So Jeff Young's going to do the guitar lesson next week, next Sunday, May 8th. And it would have been fun to have Jeff on tonight because he always loves to talk about the nefarious stuff going on in the world of country music. And again, today's the Country Music Hall of Fame, and Naomi Judd, just happens to be dead at 76 on the birthday of the Illuminati. These things happen, and again, they were established in 1776, just like this nation. But we did talk about that earlier. Let me check in and see if you have any people trying to hop on the show again. GematriaEffectNews at gmail.com. And we got Young Ben. Young Ben is ready for an invite. All right, Ben. And I imagine that means Natalie's coming too. So Ben's invite is sent. So far, no other requests. I did get an email from Stripe. It says my funds are on the way. $4.45 in book sales, $4.45. It all adds up. That's what I got to keep telling myself. But anyhow, while we wait for Young Ben to connect, let's just see what else is buzzing right now in the headlines. Getting us ready for the upcoming Senate selection. Remember, if you vote, what are you really doing? You're validating the lie. All elections rigged. They're not elections, they're selections. The people who vote validate the lie. That's all they're doing with their time, validating a big rigged lie. You can prove it all day, every day with this knowledge. Don't forget how Joe Biden became number 46, exactly 46 weeks after the Pope's birthday, as the second Catholic president when there's 46 books in the Catholic Old Testament, and the first Catholic president was assassinated at age 46. And his name was John F. Kennedy, which equals 59, like Pope Francis, and this was the 59th election. But again, just election after election, the same type of rituals. Donald Trump announces he's running from the 58-story Trump Tower, wins the 58th election. And by the way, hold on. I do have out my pocket constitution. I noticed something funny looking through this. I've actually never read the fast facts in the beginning before, but right here on page 13, more fascinating facts about the founding fathers. And that one just talks about how George Washington, because of the Julian to Gregorian calendar switch, his birthday went from the 42nd day of the year to the 53rd. As we know, Freemason equals 42. Like Jesuit, the first Jesuit university named after the Freemason George Washington, born on the 42nd day of the year. But here's one on page 30. Where did it go? I must be developing Alzheimer's. It said that George Washington. What page did it say it on? I read it and I laughed. Oh man, I lost the page. It said George Washington. Oh, it's the next page, page 14. Look at this. George Washington gave the shortest inauguration speech in American history on March 4th, 1793. It was only 133 words long. I love that. 133. Remember, in Gematria, president equals 133, White House 133, government 133. And Trump's name has the overlap with George Washington. And remember, when he first announced he was running, the very first Republican debate, when there was like 20 candidates to narrow down for the Republican nominee, the very first thing Fox News did was they put up the stat: Trump, 133rd richest person in the world. And I said right then, I said, uh-oh, that's the White House number. That is the White House number. And lo and behold, George Washington with the shortest speech in history for, what did we say? It was for Inauguration Day? The day he got sworn in. Let's double check that one more time. Yep. The shortest inauguration speech in history, 133 words. And again, you go through history. There's probably a gazillion more things out there in U.S. history that we still haven't uncovered that you can be the first. That's what's cool about this knowledge. It kind of makes you like a for 607. If you want to be part of the show, do the email request. But I mean, there's so many artifacts in history to still uncover. There's little tidbits like that all over the place. I even have them in books in my shelves where I still have overlooked it. So anyhow. Yeah, I might have to go over this more carefully. There might be a few more gems in there. Okay, let's see if young Ben got in the room. He did. Hey, what's up, Ben?
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, Zach?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
And then
Hi, Natalie.
we got Bentley here.
We got Bentley the dog here.
Yeah.
Okay, Bentley makes the debut. All right.
Yeah, right here. Hi.
Yeah, he's a Saint Bernard poodle mix. So
very nice.
Natalie loves him, and Natalie have their own love affair.
No, we don't.
Oh well, you know. Anyway, so I don't have too much. All I wanted to do was say that I've started uploading videos to my YouTube channel that I normally comment with. Just the one that says Ben Tetzloff. I put a few up yesterday. The main one I put up some of just Natalie and I went hiking, but I put up another one yesterday. Google paid tribute to Route 66 on the anniversary of the Church of Satan being founded, which also happened to be the day that Route 66 got its name in history. And I'm like, well, that's an easy one to see, because they were founded 40 years apart. Route 66 got its name in 1926, and the Church of Satan was founded in 66. And, Route 66 founded 40 years before the Church of Satan in 66. Number of the beast equals 66. It is 666. And they were founded 40 years apart, which, U.S. 40, United States 40, USA 40. And yesterday was the 56th year anniversary of the Church of Satan being founded. So what a year for them to pay tribute to Route 66 on the Church of Satan's anniversary.
Indeed. Yeah, great observation that they did that on the anniversary of the Church of Satan being established. Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I also noticed you started measuring from whenever terrorist events happen in big cities, measure from the Archbishop's birthday. And I measured from the Archbishop of New York City during 9/11. I measured from his birthday to the date of the attack, and it was his 163rd day of his age, the 38th prime, like the death, murder, killing, RIP. But what I found even more interesting was that he was nominated to be a cardinal that same year on February 21st, which was exactly 202 days before the attacks, when you had the Skull and Bones President George W. Bush in office. And Skull and Bones is 202, and they're hand in hand with the church and, the Jesuits and all that. And also the Pentagon Maskell thing, 322 days before the attack. So just to add to the whole Skull and Bones ritual. Oh, and of course, 9/11 was on a 41 date numerology too, which is the other Skull and Bones number. So yeah. So the Archbishop of New York became a cardinal 202 days before 9/11.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Natalie had something, right?
Oh, yes, I have noticed. So I'll show Bentley here, because everyone likes dogs. Well, most people like dogs. So I have noticed that Okay, that's on my face. Okay. I have noticed that when I looked at the news and then saw the freedom protest, like whatever.
Rolling Thunder.
Yeah, whatever that is. Yeah, that's how much I pay attention to the news. I can't remember the names anymore. They issued 500, the police issued 560 tickets. And then I read the part of the article to Ben, and then I thought it was worth a mention. And then what I thought would be interesting would look into further. I didn't get a chance to do it. Is to look from the starting date of the Rolling
Thunder.
The Rolling Thunder. I keep thinking Rolling Stones, and for that reason, and then I go into why is Keith Richards still alive?
Right, but that's not.
And then Bill Hicks. That's where my mind wants to go into. So, yes, that's what I found. And I was just looking at CP24, just my local, like where my hometown news. And then, like, what I would like to do, I didn't get a chance to do it, is look at the start, out of curiosity, the starting date of the Rolling Thunder. Not the Rolling Stones, the Rolling Thunder. And the starting date of the Freedom Convoy.
I think the convoy started January 29th.
Yeah, so maybe that'll be a significant date.
Oh, let me see. Yeah. When did I think it started January 29th.
Let me put it in the date.
While you're looking up, I was just saying the 560 tickets, since this is related to the Freedom Convoy, which had 56 all over it, it just reminds me how the crackdown came 56 days after Gavin Newsom's birthday.
Okay. And then at this
56 days after Trudeau's birthday?
Okay, yeah.
Or yeah, whatever I just said.
Yeah.
Trudeau.
January 29th, okay.
Okay, so officially it started January 22nd. They got to Ottawa on January 29th. And the official end date that they have here on Wikipedia was February 23rd, 223, which is funny. Masonic 223.
And then the day that starts April 3rd. April 30th is the day of this freedom crap, whatever it is. And okay, I can never remember. It feels like Canada has too many protests that I just can't remember.
No, they got big ones.
And 91 days. 3 months, 1 day.
3 months. 91. That's the 13th. Triangular number.
Yeah, 91 days.
91. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's from this when they got to Ottawa. So what is it? 98 days from the.
Yeah.
All right. Well, did it start on April 30th?
They got into town Friday. We covered it. They got into town April 29th.
And April 29th.
April 29th.
So that makes it 90 or 97. Death 97. Yeah, I don't really see much there. But yeah, rolling through. But the 500.
What about the end date of the
February 23rd?
Okay, February 23rd. February 23rd. 37.
You didn't put the day in.
Oh, my bad. 29. Okay.
65 days.
2 months, 6 days.
Pandemic 65.
Yeah.
The convoy was pandemic related restrictions. I don't know is this one a similar thing?
Yeah, it's similar. It's all related.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Remember, Canada is not as free as the U.S. It's like a sad, like why am I here? Yeah,
it's a sad reality. Yeah.
Well, besides like you,
I get
you are the main reason.
Yeah. But yeah, the 560 tickets and the Rolling Thunder 201 that goes, they go together. 201.56.
And then the end date from the Freedom Convoy. So that's February 26th, right?
February 23rd.
23rd to last Friday is 65 days.
65 days.
And that's pandemic.
pandemic. Yeah.
It equals 65. So there's something there. And this is all like pandemic related because Canada didn't really seem to move on.
Well, what I thought was interesting was just thinking about it. January 22nd to February 23rd. First of all, 122 is Isu Salvador Salvatore, like how Trudeau is Jesuit educated, like his father, and February 23rd is the Masonic number.
It's the 54th day of the year too. Jesuit Order 54. The other year it was Tiger Woods 54 with the car crash.
I think both of them actually. I think both Fidel Castro and Trudeau's supposed father are both Jesuit educated. So, but yeah, then the 54th day of the year, and I think what is that? 9 plus 23. So it was a span of 33 days that the convoy lasted. More masonry.
Indeed.
Masonry, indeed. Jesuit, all over those dates.
Indeed.
So
we got a few more people who've joined us. We got Brian, Joe, and Steve. If you guys all want to say hi in order. Brian's mic's muted, so maybe he's waiting.
Hi. Sorry. Yeah, you got me.
Okay. It looked like maybe you had some company tonight with you too.
Me and the wife were putting the kids to shower, so she took over and she let me go take off.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, she lets me do that. But I'm not gonna lie, it's crazy. I used to be the only one in our relationship that would do all this stuff, and then I long enough was talking to her, and then she's gone in her own direction, and she finds out stuff I would never even think about. And it's so great. And our relationship is so based on that. We love each other for the fact we love our minds. And I just want to throw out, hey, again, since I got the floor, thank you so much, every one of you who went to Oklahoma. You guys all are such troopers. I felt a little guilty inside. Like, damn, I wish I was there. Real bad. And it's just so great to see you guys on the ground. All of you. And when you had to go take off for your car, I don't remember what's her name that took over. She did so wonderful taking over for you.
Angel.
Yeah, Angel. She did very good. And I just love the community that's been growing. And it's in like you do, we're just finding facts and just building them up over and over and over. It's not just crazy conspiracy. It's like, well, this stuff is stacking up, guys. And we all do know it's getting sad because it's getting close to the end where it really is a fight for what we have to say and what's going to happen. It's happening. I mean, gosh, we all fantasize in conspiracy world. This is going to be happening in some time. It's happening so fast. I have more to say. I'll let the next guys go in.
Sure, it has happened very fast. One of CNN's top stories yesterday was how great Olive Garden's doing despite the pandemic, and then you open the article and it says the reason Olive Garden's doing so well is because 90,000 restaurants in the U.S. have closed, so there's less competition for them. It's just like, look at this article from CNN, essentially a FU to every mom and pop that got shut down during the pandemic.
Well, dude, that's the ball sack in the face. Wow.
Yeah, you can look up the article. It goes on how Darden, which owns Olive Garden, has deep pockets, so they were able to sustain the pandemic where many Americans could not. And it's just like,
oh man,
yeah. And again, just in the last 2+ years, so many mom and pop businesses lost. Probably so many suicides related to all the businesses lost, and most people still can't wake up to what's going on. So
like you saw, you probably saw when I was in the background. That was Taylor. That's my fiance. I've been with her for 9 years. She runs her own hair salon. She did until we moved, and then now she has to be like an underling again. But the supply chain, that shit's so real, and she deals with it. And I'm a maintenance guy, so I have to buy stuff all the time for my properties. We're seeing it so badly, and it's so crazy how like normal people are not seeing it. It's like, right. And like, I know why it's that way. And I'm trying to explain to people, like, you know why? And they're like, like, dude, it's just like this. Duh. I'm like, gosh, there's no words to explain how people do not understand it.
Indeed. Joe, are you there?
Yeah. What's going on, Zach?
Hey. This is 607. What's up, man?
Yeah, it's also N201. So, but I had stuff to build on your video on the shooting in Mississippi. I have some additional information on that.
Okay.
It happened on the 120th day of the year. And the governor of Mississippi, his name is Tate Reeves. And Tate Reeves, in the most simple cipher, is 120. So there's a shooting in Tate Reeves State, 100 on the 120th day of the year, and Tate Reeves is 120. So there's your one coincidence.
And again, just the most surface level thing is just they're reporting 1 dead, 5 injured, and this is the news all over on the first day of the 5th month. Just reminding that news comes by the numbers day after day. So,
but you won't believe this. 300. It was 330 days. It was the 330th day of the governor's age, and the mayor of Jackson, Mississippi, it was the 33rd day of his age. Perfect. So you have, it's the 33rd day of the mayor's age, and 330th day of the governor's age. So 33, like police, like order, secrecy, federal, like 33 shots fired in the Brooklyn subway shooting, 33 weeks after the governor became governor, and 137 days from her birthday, where 137 is the 33rd prime. And just what are the odds? And the mayor became mayor on July 3rd, and 7-3, like 7-3. And Jackson, in the most simple cipher, is 73. And the governor's full name, Christopher Tate Reeves, it's also 73.
Go figure.
So go.
Yeah, figure. I see he's the magic age right now too. The governor, he's 47. So, what do you know?
Yeah, and then I didn't see if you had a post or have you did anything on the shooting that happened in Louisiana on Friday, the 119th day of the year. And 119, another number we see stamped all over.
Fraternal Order of Police is 119.
Exactly.
Police is 33.
But get this. Yeah, and the month plus the day numerology for this Friday shooting was 33. 29 plus 4.
Okay.
33. That was the 33 coded into this shooting. But if you read the story, it happened the first weekend of the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. And that, in the most pure cipher, is 140. The governor of Louisiana, John Bell Edwards, in the most simple cipher, is 140. And go figure that it comes 140 days from his birthday. And it happens on Magazine Street. Magazine Street, really. Like what holds bullets is called a magazine.
Right.
Then the one of the headlines for this story, one of the headlines is, "I never knew blood was so red." Like they're quoting one of the people, and like they have that in quotes. It's, "I never knew blood was so red." And in the most pure cipher, that statement, "I never knew blood was so red," it's 107 in the most pure. Just like shootings 107. Just like Irreplaceable 107, like the documentary they named after Sandy Hook. Like, come on. Like, it's so undeniable, just day after day. And for like another 137, 33.
Was that story in the headlines on Saturday? Because Saturday is also the 107 day. So often we'll see a shooting on a Saturday in the news.
It happened Friday night, but yes, it was in the news.
Yeah, that's pretty
Saturday.
typical. And then it would have been Saturday's news story. So we see it like that all the time.
Yep. It's just, it's ridiculous. And you always see like the prime number relationships. People have to like understand that. Like the actual number of a word or like something, the prime number relationship is just as good as having that number. like a 109 and 29, like that's just as good. Like either one.
Right. So
And,
often they're coded together.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Magazine Street. Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
Just undeniable shit. And like the official name of like all the articles emphasize that this was the first weekend of Jazz Fest, and like the full name of like this fest, it's called New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. It's 140, just like the governor's name, and it was 140 days from his birthday. Like it's so beyond coincidence, and for just another one to happen in Mississippi, like the day after, and just the same numbers all the time.
Right.
It's
Yeah. That's the thing. Same numbers all the time. Repetitious.
It's just, I mean, yesterday in Major League Baseball, the Dodgers were huge favorites over Detroit Tigers. And guess what? The Dodgers lose. They become 13-7. Well, 137 is the 33rd prime number, and
Like
Tigers equals 33.
And we just had their hitter become the 33rd player all time for the Tigers to hit 3,000.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right in your face. And using such a simple code. Like we're talking about adding days, numbers, like spans of dates. And like A is 1, B is 2. Like just simple stuff.
It is very simple. We might see the same pattern again this year at the Kentucky Derby. There's one jockey that's racing 201 days from his birthday. Run for the Roses 201. So again, there is an advantage to having the knowledge. But unfortunately, though, that jockey doesn't pay like last year. Last year's jockey paid 20-1 who had the 201 ritual going on. So anyway. We also got Steven on the line. What's up, Steven?
Hey, Zach, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, how's it going, man?
What's going on?
So listen, all right. So I found something really interesting in Formula One. Do you, by any chance, watch Formula One or no Formula One?
I know what it is, but I can't stand watching car racing, so I do not watch it at all. I have zero interest in Formula One, but for people who do, let's hear it.
All right. So listen, this is what I found out. Ferrari used to be really good back in the day, and they've been terrible for over the past decade. And out of the blue moon this year, one of their drivers named Charles Leclerc is leading all drivers in points. And there's just been 4 races so far out of 23 races, so there's still a lot of races to go. But right off the bat, he's leading by a lot. And his godfather, Julian Bianchi, he's the last F1 driver to die in a F1 race. The last driver to die in an F1 race.
Okay.
That's his godfather, Charles Leclerc. That's his godfather. He died when he was 25, his godfather. And this year, Charles is still 24, but in October, he's going to turn 25 years old. The age his godfather died. But this is the funny thing. In the 4 main ciphers, I searched up lap 44. I wrote lap 44. He died on lap 44.
He died on this day in history?
Say that again?
The last man to die in an F1 race, he died on this day in history in 94, May 1st?
I'm not too sure. No, it was July 17th, actually. It was July 17th.
What year did the guy you're talking about, what year did he die?
He died in 2015.
Oh, for some reason, so the Google search is wrong. Google's saying the last person to die in an F1 race was Ayrton Senna, May 1st, 94.
Yeah, Ayrton Senna, yeah. He was a legendary F1 racer. No, but that's not him. Senna, yeah. Bianchi. I'm pretty sure that's his name, Julian Bianchi.
Okay.
He died when he was 25 in 2015.
Okay.
And that was his godfather. It says it on Wikipedia because I clicked on him and it says he was the last driver to die. And before him was that guy, Ayrton Senna, the guy you just mentioned. So I wrote lap 44 because he died on lap 44. That equals 61 in one of the four main ciphers.
Well, let's just say, lap 44. What do we know about 44? That's the death number. That's the kill execution number. So how weird.
Look at that. And he died on July 17th, right? That
Uh-huh.
also equals 61.
Okay.
And his godson, Charles Leclerc, the one that's leading right now, in the full reduction, he equals 61 as well. And what do you know? He was born on October 16th, and his car number is 16 as well. Those are things. And his main competition is Max Verstappen. I don't. Maybe you guys heard there was like a highway robbery last year in literally the last lap of the F1 championship when Max Verstappen beat Hamilton. Hamilton stayed on 7 world championships. He has the most all time. When Brady stayed on 7 chips, when Messi had 7 Ballon d'Ors, Hamilton's considered the best of all time. He stayed on 7 championships. He easily had that race. If you guys just search up the last lap of Abu Dhabi of 2021, it was a clear fix of like the rules, and he ended up winning Max Verstappen. And Max Verstappen is the youngest ever F1 driver to win a race. He was 17 years old and 166 days of his age. And what else? Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, they're 16 days in between their birthdays as well. So I'm finding all these 16s, 61s. I don't know if there's a connection to that of him dying. He was 25, his godfather, when he died. And he's going to turn 25 this year. And
well,
also
F1, I mean, if you think about it, F is the 6th letter, so F1's kind of like 6-1.
All right. Okay. Yeah, those are some other observations I have because I have a season bet on Charles Leclerc. I had that like just on watching it itself. I'm like, all right, the Ferrari's looking good this year. And then I was like, all right, I just want to see if I could find anything with the gematria. And what I was finding all those coincidences. And it makes sense too, because this year, like every 4 years or something like that, you have to change certain specs of the car. So like you got to change the model of the car, certain things. And last year, Ferrari was really bad, and they decided 2022 is going to be our year, I guess. I just feel like he's going to take it all, though, Charles Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc, okay.
Oh, and also, he was born in Monaco. Monaco equals 61 as well. Okay. He was born in Monaco. And what do you know? Who lives in Monaco? Max Verstappen. I see too many link-ups with them.
I see. Well, interesting. Yeah. I know there's been a person or two who's applied the knowledge to F1, but I've never really gotten into it just because I don't really know anything about the sport. But yeah, keep us posted. I appreciate you using the research.
All right, man. I appreciate you hearing me.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for calling tonight. You take care.
Right. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.
Is that
who's that?
Zach, it's Joe again.
Oh yeah, what's up?
Just for some real time, like, just for a greater emphasis on like what I just said, you should do it in real time. The doing the span of days from, I want you to see the 330 and the 33 in regards to the mayor and the governor of this Mississippi shooting, because like it'll just make it undeniable.
Well, I mean, I don't need to do it. I take your word for it. It's the same thing over and over. I mean, it's the same stuff I show. So June 5th, Tate Reeves' birthday, and you said also the mayor of the town. What town was it in Mississippi again? Lake Charles?
Jackson. Yeah, it's 3:30 after Tate Reeves. And it's 33 after this guy.
Okay.
Like, just come on. Like, what are the odds that it would be that you'd have the 33?
The other thing that's interesting is it happened at the Balcony Bar and that equals 39 in the most pierced cipher, just like how the
That was
mayor's
the
39.
Louisiana shooting. The balcony bar shooting was the Louisiana shooting.
Oh, am I getting them crossed? Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just the 33. Unbelievable. Oh, yeah. The
Were you saying something?
The shooting that happened in Pittsburgh on Easter weekend, I believe it was.
Uh-huh.
It was exactly 33 weeks from the CEO of Airbnb, his birthday. Like, the CEO of Airbnb is Brian Chesky. And this shooting in Pittsburgh was at an Airbnb. And it was
Really?
exactly 33 weeks after the CEO's birthday.
The headlines are talking about at a pub. Zano's Pub House. But no, it's the 3800 block. They got to get their 38 in there. I just watched the movie Murder by Numbers for the first time last night, and the town that the murder happens in has the same gematria as murder in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. I was like, look at that. So
It's just, it hits harder when you come across it like yourself. Like, when you tell someone it just doesn't hit as hard. Like, when you see it with your own eyes, like what you just said in the movie, doesn't it just like hit like, wow, they're really doing this?
Well, we already know they're really doing it, but yeah, I mean, that's why it's good. That's why I've always told people, use the knowledge yourself and see for yourself. I mean, look at the name of that pub house that got shot. Zano's. What's that equal in the most simple cipher? 56.
Yeah, that's not even the one I'm talking about, though. This one happened in an Airbnb. And
I know they said there were 3 shootings in the news on Easter Sunday, so
yeah, it was one of those.
okay.
It was it says 2 teens died on the 17th, and both of the teens were age 17. They were both 17 years old, the ones who died, and it was on the 17th. And the shooter supposedly shot like up to 50 shots, they say, and Pittsburgh's 50. And Airbnb's headquarters are in San Francisco, and San Francisco and Pittsburgh are the only cities that sum to 50 in the most pure
And we just
cipher.
saw that ritual too with those cities at the beginning of the year in January with the 2 retirements, the Supreme Court justice from San Francisco and the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, both on 127 and retirements 127. And they were making the point that the bridges in the Bay Area are built from the still with Pittsburgh. And then the next day you have the bridge collapsed by the numbers. So again, that's just, you pay attention, you see how they bring the same cities together, the same kind of rituals, the same kind of themes, the same kind of numbers. It's never ending. So
It's they in one of the articles for the shooting that happened in New Orleans, one of the articles says that the police got notified at 10:17, and 117 is like the CIA number.
117, yeah. Yeah. So
yeah, it's definitely they're doing it. Like, I always tell people, the song "Where's the Love" by the Black Eyed Peas, it was like a big song back in the day.
sure.
And the lyrics to that song, hold on, I'm bringing them up so I can see this for myself. Like, I want you to see the lyrics to this song. Where's the... What the heck? He just compares these gangs. All right, here's the lyrics. Overseas, yeah, we trying to stop terrorism, but we still got terrorists here living. In the USA, the big CIA, the Bloods and the Crips and the KKK. So he, in these lyrics of this like hit song, they're lumping in the CIA with the Bloods, the Crips, and the KKK. Like, CIA's like a gang like them.
That way, when you point out what's going on to people, they'll say, "Oh, you've been listening to that Black Eyed Peas song too much."
Yeah, they put the truth in these music. Like they're like, oh, did you hear that from like just a dumb like musician like that's on drugs every day? Like you probably heard that from like some rock star idiot. And like they don't realize that these people aren't even writing their own stuff. Like they probably that was coded in there for a reason. Like
On the Wikipedia, it says they finished recording that song on March 3rd.
unreal. Another 33, man.
You can never trust Wikipedia. You got to double check. But yeah, that's how they got it right now. So,
Wow.
yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. The inspiration for the song was the September 11th attacks. And of course, those buildings lasted for 33 years.
Yeah, just 33. 33 this, 33 that. They love that number. They use it
now, what do you think about the person who told me I was stretching it when I pointed out that the subway shooting was on the anniversary of the start of the Civil War, and Civil War had a lot to do with slavery, and of course, slavery equals 102, the 102nd day of the year, but they blame it on a black man, and it's a shooting underground, which
Underground
kind of
Railroad.
Underground Railroad.
Yeah, when I seen that connection, it just blew my mind because it's not a coincidence. Of course, it's not.
That's what they do. They pay tribute by the numbers into history, and again, they just slap people in the face with it. And coincidentally, the cameras were out. All the cameras were out, so it allowed the shooter to be on the loose for 30 hours when police equals 33 forwards, 30 in reverse.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I work with a guy who's from New York, and I asked him about that. I was like, dude, why aren't the cameras working? He's like, dude, those cameras never work in those subways. I swear to God. Like, that's his claim. He lived there. So I was like, okay. Like, I was giving a little entertainment to that, like, just someone from it, from the place. He used to take the subway all the time.
So what's
he probably
evidence
has no
evidence
idea
that the cameras never work?
That's what he said. Hey, man, I'm passing on.
People are just talking out of their ass. Yeah, it just sounds like anything. Just people always making bullshit excuses to justify the news as bullshit.
Yeah, people want to like go to any extent they can to justify like the government's right, like these political people, like they're right, like they wouldn't lie to the people, like the world news, like they just want to like it's so bad to like not be all bullshit, but it is all bullshit.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I'm just telling you, I actually tried to talk to someone from New York, so like that was their 2 cents.
Like I'm from New York, and I was in 4th grade on 9/11. Like my claim about like what happened on 9/11, like just because I'm from New York, like that doesn't mean anything.
My man, all right, I like that.
By the way, New York City, September 11th. Be there if you can. So,
shit, man. Hey, I don't want to change, go to changing, but have you guys heard of Watch the Water on Rumble?
Yeah, 56.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. It was interesting to watch, but yeah, again, I think I commented on that when you were at Oklahoma City saying look up Watch the Water, but it's funny how like it's Cobra Venom, and then you think of Cobra COVID. They're both the same words. It's like, dang, they're really messing with people's brains.
Yeah, just anything that goes viral, you just know right away that it's not legit. And again, just all in the same cipher as coronavirus and COVID vaccine. Watch the Water's also 56.
Right there in the most purest. Yep.
The other thing too, I just want to chime in about that. Ingesting snake venom is not toxic. Having it injected into your bloodstream is, but ingesting it to where your stomach can break it down isn't. So that right there just blows the lid off the whole story. It's a complete load of bullshit.
Can you find that like as information somewhere to like prove to somebody?
Yeah, I mean, if you look it up, if you just do a simple Google search, is drinking snake venom toxic? Like something pops up where it says no. And in fact, I saw a documentary on BitChute a while back where, they were talking where I forget exactly what they were talking about, but at some point they made a metaphor and they compared it to, drinking snake venom versus injecting snake venom. And that was months ago. And it was a video that was like completely unrelated to anything truth related. It was just the guy was making a comparison. So yeah, I don't remember exactly what video that was, but Yeah, if you just search "is ingesting snake venom toxic," maybe if you if you search it now, you might get some fact check, PolitiFact stuff about Watch the Water, and the reason that's another reason they do that. So they put out sheer nonsense so that the paid for fact checkers can debunk it and make the truth community look like a bunch of idiots.
Just the other day, the thing they were doing in the media was saying that what's gone viral online is that conspiracy theorists online are claiming that all birds are drones. And it's like, okay, I've never heard anybody make that claim in my life. But
I've heard that once in all my years of listening to conspiracies. I've heard that once.
Yeah, it was like on CNN's front page the other day. I was like, come on, man.
Reuters article to debunk the Project Runway. How came out.
COVID Kapoor.
Reuters came out on a date with 56 numerology. And they say, COVID Kapoor. And they say, he came out with, the mask outfit. And they're saying, no, this was just a coincidence. Okay, Reuters.
Yeah, no, and I think Reuters equals 47, I think, news, government, authority, and all the other stuff. And I decoded Reuters a long time ago, not as a formal decode, just while I was at work when I was on break. There was another 47 involved in their history. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, if you look into the history of Reuters, it's pretty obvious what they are. So.
Yeah, and again, just the whole idea of this whole fact checking thing, because so often they're saying, "Oh, that's not true," and then they just regurgitate what's in the mainstream media as if that's absolutely gospel and 100% factual. It's just like, come on.
Yeah, it's like they say we contacted the scientists behind this experiment, and they said that it wasn't this, so it definitely wasn't this. It's like,
well, you say fact check. Can you give me who fact check it, and I can look up their credentials? You know what I mean?
Just start going to those Snopes and Reuters are always doing the fact checking.
But who are you?
Yeah,
Bentley is a fact checker. In fact, Bentley needs a wrench, Zach.
Wait, who needs a wrench?
Bentley, our dog needs a wrench.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's the fact checker.
I'm sure he's more into bones.
He'd be a better fact checker than these goons they have on TV.
Oh yeah.
No, these sorry, go.
Yeah, it's would you rather read Reuters fact check or listen, or just ask Bentley what he thinks? I think his response will probably make more sense.
His response would be give me food, give me treats.
And then, like that better than Reuters fact checking. Anyway, Natalie showed me a story. I don't know if anybody else wanted to talk, they can. But Natalie found a story that we looked into kind of on the fly here, and I'm actually very surprised that
really coded. It was from the military base, the Royal Military College in Kingston, Ontario. So where the cadets are and they train.
Yeah.
And I showed Ben, this happened on Friday. Friday. So,
yeah, it happened on it happened on Friday, April 29th. So what happened was 4 fourth-year cadets at this Royal Military College in Kingston, Ontario. What did they drove their car into a lake?
Yeah, they drove their car into Lake Ontario.
Yeah, they drove their car into Lake Ontario. It happened on April 29th, the 119th day of the year. Like how fraternal order of police equals 119. And they were attending the Royal Military College, which equals 102, just like how police equals 102 and cadet equals 102. And they were 4 fourth-year cadets, and 4 is the number of death in ancient Chinese, and the town it happened in, Kingston, equals 44. And 107 and 109, like military.
One of the victims, Jack Hogworth, is 102 and 60.
Yeah.
60 like police.
So there's 102 all over this story and 44 and 119.
Lake Ontario is 121, 49.
Yeah, and one of the other victims' names was 121.
Yeah. So
yeah, and one of the other the third victim had overlap 165, 57, 159, which is the Scottish Rite.
And then on the day, Honshu was 121, like
right.
Ontario.
And then the last one, Andres Salic equaled 109, which is also military.
And then we took out the accent with the E, the French accent, and put the regular E. So that ended up being 109 military. So what struck me about the story is that the police said they were not doing anything. They're not telling anybody anything, just that 4 fourth-year cadets crashed their car into Lake Ontario.
In the 44 town. 4 fourth years
in Kingston, Ontario. Yeah.
You bringing that up. Somebody pointed out today, shout out to Richie Rich, that on April 4th, the anniversary of the MLK killing, there was a story in the national news of a police officer killing a black man in Michigan, which is a state that equals 44, just like officer, like shooting, like execution, like kill. And again, it's just like the same patterns, the same numbers. I started the new Batman movie and right near the beginning, I think it's a politician's found dead, and they have to, the camera angles like set up from looking at the crime scene, and what do they have in front of there? They have the, when the police put down the little markers for the piece of evidence, they got the camera looking right through the number 4 at the dead body. And it's just like, I mean, it's over and over, just the same things, whether it's the news or movies or TV shows. So.
I think it was the mayor. But yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, it was the mayor.
I think so. I just watched it myself too.
So somebody told me that the big date ends up. I haven't gotten there yet, but the big date ends up being November 5th that the bombs go off, and of course that's the day in history Guy Fawkes, the Jesuit, tried to blow up British Parliament.
In the movie he says like diary. It's the day after. It's like the morning after. He says November 6th. So yes, it all happened on November 5th.
Yeah.
Oh, Zach, you'll really appreciate this one. I was going back through your blog recently, your old blog, because I was trying to find out more information about the Gabby Giffords shooting from a while ago. Because I remember you looked at that numerous times and revisited after the Steve Scalise baseball thing. And what I found, for some reason, I found a post that you made about Obama mentioning the Giffords shooting and a number of other ones. And what you said and what you wrote, it was amazing to me, because you wrote, the headline was Obama makes a speech where he references himself 76 times. And you wrote that on January 5th, 2016, before you even knew about reverse gematria, before you even knew that Barack Obama equaled 76 and Negro slave Rasta blues all equals 76.
You know what's another 76?
What?
ACA, just the abbreviation for the Affordable Care Act. ACA is also 76.
Wow.
And then he put out that book of Promised Land 76.
Yeah, on the day leaving 44 days in the year. But I looked at that, and like the only 76 that you had on that post, because you only knew the writing the beast gematria calculator ciphers, was master. Master equals 76. And lo and behold, like all these years later, now we know so much more about how that number. So it just shows to show how long they've been using,
Well, that's how we recognized that the reverse was important too, because it was just like that. It was like going back and looking at old work. It's like, wow, look at how the reverse cipher makes this post make way more sense. I mean, that's how it was when we first found the reverse cipher. So
yeah, I couldn't believe it when I found that, and that was it was January 5th, 2016. So that was like a year before you found out about reverse.
Oh, hold on, it was a 33-minute speech. I found the post you're talking about. Obama's 33-minute speech on guns references himself 76 times. And yeah, again, I mean, you learn gematria. So people can see what he's talking about when you write out Barack Obama. It's 76. The Million Man March in history was on the day leaving 76 days left in the year. When you run it in reverse, slave 76, Negro 76, blues 76, Rasta 76, his book of Promised Land 76. So yeah, no wonder he referenced himself 76 times in 33 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was it's just so funny, man. Like it's like, yeah, I mean, like that's another example of how you know how legit reverse is, because you didn't even know it at the time. You can just go back and look at it and see, it's like, yeah, I mean, like it's right in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would actually like to hear that speech. How do you reference yourself 76 times?
I don't know.
He cried for Sandy Hook 3 years and 22 days after the shooting, and again it happened right next to Skull and Bones. 322. Yeah. So. Yeah, we've come a long way since then, but
Zach, I gotta ask, how did you feel when those security guards came up to you when you first got there? Did you expect that?
No, I didn't expect that. I was really surprised. I was surprised when he aed me if my name was Zach Hubbard. Then
Did that feel really good though inside? You're like, yeah, I am. That was cool, man. Like, they hear that. It's not cool that they stopped you, but it's kind of cool. Like, they do know you, and that means something. Because, like, there's not many of us that know you. And somehow these guys knew you.
They had a meeting about me. They even knew I was coming from Washington State. And when he told me that, because all this wasn't this happened when I came back later, that they talked about how they had a meeting, and then that I was coming from Washington State. I said, well, doesn't that make you feel even more rude that I drove 30 hours and you wouldn't even let me in here? I mean, I've never even been to the state before. So they said they're just doing their job.
That's all everybody's doing. Yeah. Oh man. Well, they listened though. They listened. Even once you got off the property, they stuck around and listened. Especially Pat. Pat was like halfway down the walkway, and he even came back and tucked an ear out, or stuck an ear out rather.
Indeed.
Indeed.
So they spent a lot of time around me in all the days I was there. Every time I walked up to the thing, they all came out and like stood there and watched. But I had a few more conversations with them off camera. The one with the little hair patch, he actually apologized, and he said I might just be right. So, but he explained that that's the best job he's ever had, and he's just doing the best he can. And I said, well, I hear what you're saying, but I said, I mean, ultimately, if you're helping evil, is that a good job to have? So.
Yeah.
Trying to survive is always a bitch too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I want to know is where did this person get this footage of me talking to this person in this car? This is from March 13, 2020. Somebody just uploaded this. I was like, whoa, where did this footage come from? I mean, I know I was talking to the people in the cars that rolled down their window and asked what we were about, but I never knew this got uploaded. So Gematria32, I got to know where you got the footage. Unless this was Gematria32, maybe this is how they woke up to Gematria.
So. Yeah, I mean, that footage looks like it's coming directly from inside the car, which means
it is, because just certain people like rolled up and were like, what are you guys doing out here? And so like I'd go up and explain it to them, and before the light turned green. So this was a 1-minute Gematria right here. I do remember the trolls. I remember the trolls were pointing out that we were beneath the pyramid. Well, I mean, we're just directly across the street from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation on the side of the street where the traffic is. So that's why we were where we are. But the trolls were like, see, Zach's a shill. He was under the pyramid. But
oh my God.
Like, seriously, oh my God.
They'll grasp at anything. I mean, like, Zach can't even wear a hat anymore because they'll just decode the hat, and all of a sudden, oh, he's a shill because he wore that hat.
Yeah. You should just wear a hat that says I'm a shill. Just get it over with.
I am. I'm actually having a whole new brand made just called Joshua Greenblatt. So.
Oh, you gotta put I am a Jew too on top of that.
I think I'll get that one too.
Yeah.
I think I'll get one that says uncircumcised Jew.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Aren't all Jews supposed to be?
What's that?
No, Jews are supposed to be circumcised. Never mind, I got that wrong.
Yeah, you got to be circumcised to be Jewish. It's all part of the. Again, back in the original channel, I used to upload all the time the video of them. It's not an uncommon practice in synagogues to circumcise the baby and then pass around the baby, and the men will lick away the bloody, and it's really gross. It's just like, what in the world?
Yeah, it's called the breast.
I'm good. I'm good.
7 days.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it's like these kids are getting their first blowjob from like 20 different strange men, and there's an article about it from back when I first started this work that somebody went after them in New York because they were giving like syphilis to babies. So,
oh my God,
yeah.
What fucking world do we live in? Oh my God,
that's called the brisk.
Well, that's why Google had to censor so many people's channels because there's just certain secrets they don't want out there. So,
When the baby boy is 7 days old, they have to do that apparently in the Jewish tradition.
I heard it was the 8th day.
8th or 7th, something like that.
I heard it was the 8th day
Yeah.
from some. There's a Jewish kid that sat at my lunch table in high school,
Yeah.
and he said it was the 8th day. But,
And they pass around like the foreskin, and I'm like,
yeah, it's a very interesting ritual. For sure,
yeah.
but,
It's like, what?
probably not the cleanest.
It just makes me think of that movie. You guys have any of y'all seen Year One with Jack Black?
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Where he's like, "Oh, by thy Lord, we will cut the tip of your penis off. Don't worry, just the tip. It's gonna be a real sleek look. It's gonna catch on."
Jesus.
Ben is right. It is the 8th day. I'm sure there's a reason for that. The 8th day.
This seems so
21 is the 8th Fibonacci number, and like how the Jesuits are part Jewish, and Jesuits 21.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
8.
such a weird practice. Like, who the fuck thought of that?
Really?
You gotta chop the tip off, guys, and it'll be all good. Who the fuck thought of that?
Yeah, it just I don't know, man. I mean, it's a common thing now. I mean, there's tons of people who are circumcised that aren't Jewish. It's pretty common, but to me, like I've had the same thought. Who first thought of that? Because it just seems barbaric. It's just like, God.
Well, the other thing too, Zach. I think 36 is the 8th triangular number, and we know what 36 is. 36, 666, the 36th triangular number. I don't know.
Say it again?
666 is the 36th triangular number, and 36 is the 8th triangular number.
Okay.
So
I bet you I'm there somewhere. I bet the information is somewhere online why they do it on the 8th day, and no doubt it's probably something from the Torah or the Tanakh. So here, let's see if Google has the answer. The Torah states, on the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. So it's a biblical thing.
What the fuck were they thinking? I don't get it.
I don't know, man. There's some things like some things are just random in religion, like don't eat meat on Fridays during Lent if you're Christian. Like,
Yeah, and then what we did.
yeah, I'm like, dude, I go to the farmer's market on Fridays. I mean, I know Zach's a vegetarian, but I'm not. I'll admit it.
Yeah,
and like we go to the Polish market on Thursday. Of course, we're gonna eat meat on Friday. It's like,
you sneak in the garage and you just eat some kielbasa.
Yeah,
That's what you do.
yeah, it's like my mom doesn't even go to church that much anymore, but for some reason she's just so adamant about that rule. I'm like, it's not happening. No.
Yeah. Yeah, we just sneak and eat meat. Dude, we took his grandma to church, Zach, on Sunday.
Oh my God. On Easter Sunday.
And he had to pinch me because I almost burst out laughing because the priest gives everybody their communion, like the whole congregation their communion without a mask. And then he puts a mask on to serve the whole mass, everybody else with a mask on.
I know what she means is that the guy did the whole homily in it without a mask, was walking all over the altar without a mask, and then like right before communion he like puts it on in like slow motion, like, and like meanwhile none of the other communion givers, it's like, what in the world is this, man?
And I was about to burst out laughing, and then Ben had to pinch my left arm for me to stop.
I only do that for grandmas, but
your grandma asked to go to church for us to take her.
So that's the only reason I go to church.
Yeah.
But the I'm so glad. I mean, like,
that was so funny.
My entire family goes to. Oh my God! My family though went to. Natalie and I stayed behind to watch Bentley and to take care of my grandmother on Easter, but the rest of my family went to Fairfax, Virginia for to see my cousins. And my God, Fairfax, Virginia is like living in 2020 still. Like they're still like mask mandates in most parts of that town, including the church that they went to. It's like there's the faith in action.
Yeah.
You know, it's like man, these people must really believe so hard to have to wear a mask during the service.
Apparently, all the like bread was like breaking up. Everyone got a piece of bread with their masks on, and then they dip it in the collective like cup of wine, whatever that cup is called in I forgot, in Catholicism and Methodist, like they're all the same to me. And then they just go like this and then put their mask back on. And then I'm like, I said to Dad, so you're telling me someone could be scratching their like left butt cheek and then take a piece of bread and then dunk it in the wine?
Yeah, people could be dipping God knows what on their hands into the wine, and everybody else is dipping their hands in there and into the bread. But you gotta wear
You gotta wear a mask.
You gotta wear your face diaper.
And then you can scratch your left butt cheek.
That'll keep you safe, and make sure your body tries to get rid of whatever the hell was in that wine that everybody else just touched, and then you can't even get it out because it's trapped by a mask. It's like what a sick play. I mean, like that's like. Apparently that's one of the most liberal, and I put that in double quotes for a reason, most liberal places in America is Fairfax, Virginia. And it's awful. I mean, just that town. I mean, like if I had gone, I don't know what I would have done. That would have been a very rough scene.
I was texting Sonny. I'm like, I'm so bored. I'm hungry. I'm angry. I'm cranky.
Why? Wait, when?
During taking Nana to church.
Oh yeah.
Because I was hungry. I was angry. The priest was so monotone, and like, who cares what he says about Ukraine? I heard the same story over and over.
They push the same propaganda in the church too about Ukraine. It's like these people. And I noticed this. Just looking back on it over the years, I don't. I go to church like twice a year now because just for family reasons. But like, there's like they push the same stuff. Like it's basically like an extension of, like the school and the news as far as programming goes. It's like there's not even like open-mindedness here. Didn't they not just see that the footage they showed of the supposed bombing was the same footage they showed in Beirut in the August of 2020? I mean. And all the Fox News showing, people walking around with fake cardboard guns while Sean Penn's over there, with the other actor Zelensky. It's such an obvious stage scene.
It's like one of the most obvious stage scenes in all the years I've been doing this. Well, I guess there's been a few, but the first time they had the Charlie Hebdo shootings, it was just so obvious that there weren't any real shots fired. And it's just like, how are they getting away with this? Like, is anybody paying attention to what they're putting on the screen? I mean, it's just.
Which one's that?
Charlie Hebdo, France. Supposedly they had the comic book that made fun of Muhammad, and then the terrorist attack, and that was right before the Friday, November 13th follow-up.
No, I remember. Sorry, there's just so fucking many. I don't know how your guys' brains do this.
How about the Los Angeles airport where they wheeled out the dummy?
Oh my God, the LAX one was so ridiculous. Or what about the Brussels bombing where the footage looked like it was from like 1979 or something like that?
Indeed. And then I think it was that November 13th attack was either right before that or right after, because they did like the symbol with the heart in the floor. It was
the airport. Right, I remember that. That was one of the things I saw early on in the work. I didn't find you until about 2 months before Brussels, which was after Paris. And I remember there was the photo of supposedly everybody being dragged out of the Bataclan Theater in Paris, and the blood smear was like a heart shape, which was the same logo, which was the same shape as the Brussels airport logo. Right. And then that was the ISIS's next target. So
I think that was November 13th, 2015, if I remember right. The Friday the 13th.
Yeah, Friday the 13th. Yeah. And
another one that the one that Google really didn't like and deleted a lot of us for was the London Bridge shooting, and the cops were changing into costumes and posing as the terrorists. I mean, just another blatant example of how bad the propaganda is and who's really selling us out. The people on the that are getting paid for by the taxpayers are the ones actually committing the acts. So
that's what's the roughest thing is how do we break this barrier of like, you guys, there's something else going on, and like how, like I know you guys, you have so much evidence that supports Gematria and all that, and like that's where we're all at right now. That's I feel like a lot of us feel. It's like how the hell can you guys not see or just entertain the idea that this is happening?
Sure.
Why can't we break that? That's like literally it. Why can't we break that?
Well, we should be able to. I just went back. I was like, I did a lot of stuff on the November 13th Paris attack. I forgot to connect it to the Pope. What do you know? It was 34 days before the Pope's birthday. And of course, Francis equals 34, just like France, where the Jesuits are from. First Jesuit Pope, of course, murders 34. But it's like, look at that. That attack was 34 days before Pope Francis' birthday. Of course it was.
I think it's funny you said 34 because when I was doing all my research is on my phone, and I'm on my phone right now, so I can't go on it. When I was doing all my research for Watch the Water, 34 was the number that kept coming up. I can't remember why, but I was like 30. I was like, what's 34?
I know 34 because that's about how they poisoned us. Poison's 34.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah, poison. Yeah, that's when I was doing the numbers. I saw poison. I think venom. Maybe it was venom. I can't remember. But like, it was just weird how like that number kept coming up. So I'm glad. Thank you for saying that because I couldn't remember what that number meant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm another thing that amazes me. I'm like, I've been seeing 35 in like every Catholic related decode lately. Like I told you guys earlier that I looked into the cardinal who was the Archbishop of NYC during 9/11 and how he came up and how he showed up. But like that guy ended up dying on March 5th, 2015. Another 35 Catholic ritual. And I'm, when I drive to New Jersey, which I do, for school sometimes, on Interstate 287 North, and Zach, I sent you a picture of this a few weeks back. When you're driving on 287, there's like and you get off exit 35, the sign for exit 35 on the side of the road is the Morris Eye Museum, and I is 35. And they have the Eye Museum right off exit 35. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
When you're talking about exits,
by the way, on top of the 35 that I talked about with New York City Archbishop, the guy who was the Archbishop of Paris during in 2015 was installed on March 5th, 2005. Another 35.
Yeah.
Just never ends.
Same old. So
I heard you talking about exits, and it's like one of the main exits when you get into downtown Houston is 47. I'm not fucking with you. And I take it all the time. It goes on to Pierce Street or whatever. But yeah, it's like the first main exit when you get into downtown Houston is 47.
Yeah. Wow.
The 35, the Eye Museum, Ben. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, I've never looked into it. I see it every time because I have to get off exit 35 actually for where I'm going. But like, and I don't go to the Eye Museum for anybody that's wondering. I don't, but yeah, it's just there. It's like the Morris Eye Museum, and it's in a place called Morristown, but yeah, I mean, it's just. I mean, we see how coded out it is, though. I mean, the whole 201 exit 201 goes to Disney when Walter Elias Disney's 201, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff. Here's a funny the PA Turnpike near my house. When you travel up the Turnpike to get to my house specifically, you have to get off exit 56, which is interesting.
My parents live on street equal to 56.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can share that.
Yeah. So Natalie's house in Canada there's the street name is a 56 name.
And my license plate is a 56.
License plate is 56. I don't know, man. I see a little bit too much when it comes to.
I am the youngest of three. 3's 56.
Yeah, 3. We see a lot of 3s too.
Speaking of threes, I was just going back through old posts and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. The movie The 33 came out the day of the Paris, France shooting, and in Paris, France, the plus 33 international dialing code as well.
Wow.
That reminds me of the Brussels bus that supposedly ran over a bunch of people. The white bus that was perfectly clean after it supposedly ran over like 100 people. There was a movie released right before then that having to do with like the CIA in Belgium. God, I got to go back and see what that was. So many rituals over the years. So
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
Lots of rituals for sure.
Your family's number.
Yeah, here's a ritual for you guys. Everyone knows Cincinnati is 51, right?
Yep.
And today is 5-1. Well, what a perfect day for the Reds to get their 19th loss. And Reds is 19. So Reds 19, Cincinnati 51. The Reds pick up their 19th loss on 5-1. But here's the kicker. This could probably convince a lot of people like that this knowledge is legit if they can see this example. Today in the Colorado Rockies Reds game. So the pitcher for the Reds, it's number 46, all right? Reds is 46 forwards. It's 19 in full reduction. And on number 46's 19th pitch of the game, it's like not the 19th pitch of the game, like number 46's 19th pitch. It's a pop-up to the pitcher's mound, and he just lets it drop. Like he just lets the ball drop, like on the 19th pitch. And
yeah,
like
I'm sure it was a ritual, or it was supposed to be something else, and the guy mishit it, so he just had to let it drop at the mound. So, yeah, you pay attention to the numbers in the sports, you'll see the rituals day after day. So,
By the way, I'm sorry about the shirt. I didn't plan to be wearing a Nike shirt on Sunday, but or any day for that matter. But I went to my cousin's baseball game earlier, and the theme was to wear red.
I see.
Because that's the school's color, and this was the first shirt I found, and I had to get over there because I was late. So
that's okay.
The black one.
D26 joined the room. D26, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning.
How you doing?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good morning for you.
Exactly. I woke up late, so that's why I just saw it. I had to figure out whenever is there the daylight saving times or not, because when there is a daylight saving times, we are, at least I'm 12 and a half hours ahead of you, Zach. And when there is no daylight saving times, I'm 13 and a half hours ahead of you. So I always forget with the 1 hour thing. So it's been 3 weeks probably since last Sunday night show. I was absent in the last time, woke up late. So this time I have an entire points. I've just made various points what I'm going to talk. The first one is, have you ever decoded about Ryan Reynolds, the actor?
Which actor?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds, my least favorite actor. I don't think I've ever decoded him.
He plays Deadpool, and he's going to come up with a lot of movies recently. He's also the guy who plays in the movie Free Guy. But this is a very rare thing that I've noticed. He shares the same birthday as Ignatius Loyola, like 23rd of October. And that date can be written as 23rd of October as 2310. Or if you add if you apply the principles of numerology, you knock out the 0, you're left with 231, just like Ignatius Loyola equals 231. And I will continue with something with movies, because we have on this Friday we are getting the Doctor Strange 2 movie, where the Illuminati is confirmed last week. I made a comment about that. So Illuminati is nothing but a judiciary. In the comics, it is a judiciary body, but in the movie, it is anticipated to be a judiciary body on a multiversal level. I made recodes last time, and I will upload it on Free to Find Truth as well, about who are the characters that are being introduced in this team of called as Illuminati in the movies. But also one more thing, there's an old movie called Spider-Man. This is the latest actor who plays as Spider-Man. His first movie in the Marvel cinematic universe. It was called Spider-Man: Homecoming, which equals 201 and 102. And also, I was just thinking this the other day that Gates is an anagram for stage. It's all a stage. It's all a theater. So keep that in mind. That Gates is an anagram for stage. And this is I'll just write this in the chat in the private chat that India's most famous as well as most controversial journalist. His name equals 201. I just wrote his name in the private chat, and I did talk about the Project Avatar. I at least I mentioned it in the super chat recently about Project Avatar. Um, okay, this is something that I posted it on the free to find route, probably about the relation between the Queen um, as well as 9/11. Um, did I ever tell you that this could be the thing that when the Queen was born in 1926, right after that it must have been decided or the plans must have been changed that the line of succession was dramatically changed because if you do some research about the bloodline, if you just do some research about the line of succession, uh, Queen's father, he had an older brother who was supposed to be continue the line of succession. But there is some story that he fell in love with a woman who was already divorced, and according to the rules of the royal family, he could not continue to rule the United Kingdom. Hence, he gave the throne to his brother, uh, Prince Albert. By the way, Prince Albert equals 201. He then becomes George the Sixth, and his daughter is the Queen of England, which we have right now. So there is even a phrase on the Wikipedia page that she was third in the line of succession, and that phrase or something like that phrase that also equals 201, something like that. And coming to another thing that Queen's reign began on 2/6, 201 days after the 201st day of the year, which is 20th of July. So her birthday comes exactly 201 days after the moon landing, which is on the 201st day, July 20th, which is on Cancer. And we all know that Neil Armstrong equals 201. Um, and July comes in Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune, which represents dreams and imagination. Again, July, which happened. Um, the moon landing happened in July, which comes in Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. And Neptune, Rambo has very good work with the Neptune and the Trident.
Wait, hold on. You said the moon landing happened in the time of Cancer, ruled by the moon, right? July.
Uh-huh.
What were you
It
saying?
happened in the time of it happened in the time of Pisces. I'll have to look into this because I just was saying. Right?
Are you saying the moon landing happened in the time of Pisces?
Hold on. Oh, it happened in the time of Cancer. Sorry, I'm missing the point. Oh yeah. Sorry for that. Okay, I messed up the 2 points. Anyways, okay, sorry. Queen is born in April, which is ruled in Aries, which is ruled by Mars, and Mars equals 201. And if you remember, I made one of the comments in the very long ago in one of the Sunday night shows that if you write the months in French up to a certain level, I guess if you write January to August, because the Jesuits were created in August, if you write those months in French, that you get 201, something like that, or till September because they were recognized in September. But you did ask a question, and that is what I'm going to answer today. Is that Mars is also the month of March in French. It's the same spelling, Mars, and this is something that if Ben is in the chat, he would get this. United States and United States of America and Canada agreed to preserve the Niagara River or Niagara Falls on 2nd of Jan 1929, which can be written as 1-2-29, like 1229. They were 201st prime. And I just got this much for the Niagara Falls for now because it's a long decode, but just that date can be written as 1229, which is the 201st prime. The second thing is that, okay, I did talk about this. If you remember, I talked about if you add the names of all the initial 13 colonies, the names of the 13 colonies, they equal 743, which is the 132nd prime. The same is what I said last night. I think last night for me, must be morning for you, that the height of the new World Trade 7 building is 743, and which is the 132nd prime. United States of America equals 132. Something else, if it was also 132. Okay, yeah, I guess by now most people should know this, that the height of the one World Trade Center equals 1776. And even New York, I guess in one of the ciphers, I guess it's English extended. Hold on. Okay, it's not apparently. I gotta look it up. But there was a word that I had found that equals 1776 in the English extended cipher. You mentioned that bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge, is gonna get destroyed very soon.
Which bridge?
Right? The Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco.
Well, it's something that's been in a lot of predictive programming, so it's definitely possible. I mean, we'll see.
Exactly. But even in my decodes, what I'm finding that there is going to happen. There's something going to happen in November, because again, the only date left with 9/11 is November 9th. We got September 11 as 9/11, and we also got November 9th. It's interesting because I had my driving license test last year on that day, so I was like worried. Okay, there could be something on this date. Why are we missing on this date? So I just did some dishes on that. If I'm not wrong, let me just check it. November 9. Okay, no, not yet. But I mentioned that November solar flare, November earthquake equals 201. Even November 26th. That's my birthday, by the way. I was looking at the history of the some Christian holidays. Thanksgiving was initially a fixed date. It was not obviously changing every year. So nowadays, Thanksgiving comes on every year. It's a different date. It is something like every fourth Thursday or last Thursday of the month of November, if I'm not wrong. Nowadays, but initially, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln, they fixated the date for Thanksgiving to be on 26th of November. It was just recently in the previous century they changed it to they changed it to be celebrated on fourth Thursday of the month of November, or last Thursday of the month of November, something like that. So, and again, talking about history, I had no mention about this thing. If you can bring this up on the screen, there is an ancient Jesuit rings, as in rings which you wear on the fingers, that depict 1XXI, which is the Roman numerals for 9/11. And I also said that 9 is reflection of 11 in Roman numerals, and also 9 equals 11 in basic counting.
Where do you want me to bring that up at?
The ancient Jesuit rings of 9/11.
And where is that at?
You can just Google this and you will find various rings. Some of them were been preserved till now. They are from the 16th and the 17th century. Funny that they are not showing up on these Google. I'm using a different browser, by the way. Go to the images and you will find this probably. Yeah, not this one, not this one. Go to the images and you might find some of them. Okay, yeah, just on the right one. Yeah, that's one. That's the one.
That is interesting right there.
That's made of stone, I guess. Stone, copper, some probably.
Wow.
where they got the I-axis. And even last time I showed, before your OKC trip, I made I shared the video where I showed that the largest Catholic church in Washington D.C., they had the IXX1 on a cup on a wall, engraved on a wall. If you remember that one, uh, the video which I shared, which you also played on the screen, where the guy was showing the entire church and there was various symbolism in the church.
Right.
And
A few weeks back.
yeah, exactly, 2 or 3 weeks back. And um, have you ever decoded about Google more than something like random words that are very used very heavily in our daily lives? Let's say, for example, Android phone equals 201. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Google
Android
Chrome
phones
equals
201.
Google Chrome equals 201.
Hold
And
on,
Chrome is
I
the
gotta
one.
interrupt your thought. I just gotta show people this because I went into the cipher to see what was 1776 that you might have been talking about, and I just want people to see this. This is wild. In Jewish Gematria and English Extended, which are interesting ciphers that get you bigger numbers.
Uh-huh.
Beyonce Giselle Knowles, that new film. There's a reference to how she's in the Illuminati, the new Mike Myers film, but her name in both ciphers is 1776. So. That is wild.
What does lemon?
1776.
I don't know if I heard you good.
Anyway, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I was just looking into the 1776 to see if I could find what you were looking at, and I saw that, and I thought, what in the world? So,
Yeah, there's also one more thing, that the word founded equals 1776. I guess probably Nino the hacker told me, and some other live stream, probably it was see through the script. And over there, I guess Neo shared this, that's the word founded equals 1776 in the reverse extended, not the English extended, in the reverse extended. But there's something else, like I can't remember something, but there's some number related to New York or America that also equals 1776. But anyways, refresh. Okay, the word Android phone equals 201. Also, Google Chrome equals 201. Sundar Pichai equals 201, who is a guy from the is a guy with an Indian origin. A lot of CEOs in the American companies are Indian origin, and Indian origin also equals 201. But with the Google Chrome thing, I guess there's more to this. Hold on, there has to be more. Adrenochrome also equals 201, something like that. Oh, adrenochrome equals 119. Sorry, my bad. But Google Chrome equals 201, and Chrome is the web browser for Google, their own web browser, which has a 666 in their logos, which is reminiscent of the 66 in the CERN logo. CERN, which has Shiva in their logos, and the Shiva is something inside a Stargate. And if I'm not wrong, Stargate equals 120. If I'm not wrong, it equals 125. Anyways, but there is something else that I shared in my. Okay, I had the only reason I don't have a lot of videos on my channel is that I'm working on a long video. It's like a documentary style video about 9/11. That's why it's taking so much time. So, but I only have 2 or 3 videos about Gematria, and I talked about the base 8 and the base 12 counting systems, how you have to calculate. Have you seen that video, Zach, by any chance?
I don't think I've watched it yet, but I need to.
But if you just follow that method of how to convert the numbers into different number systems, be it the octal, be it the duodecimal or hexadecimal, you only need to learn the multiplication and the powers of the number which the number system you want to. So if you can see on the screen, it's 1, 12, 44, and 1728. That is basically the increasing order of magnitude of 12. You got 12 from right to left, it's 12 is to the power 0, which is always 1. Any number to the power 0 is always 1. Then you got 12 to the power 1. Any number to the power 1 is always the number itself. Then you got 12 square 144. Then you got 12 cube 1728. All you need is just to know the powers of the number. Let's say if you want to calculate in base 9, all you need is 1, 9, 81 and 729. That's it. Since I have the practice of remembering the number, let's see, the powers of the numbers, it's easy for me. But all you need is just the powers, and then need to calculate. You can do this in your mind. If you bring me a number, I can calculate that in base 12, in any base numbers up till base 12 uh, in my mind. I don't need a pen and paper. So it's just the practice. You just follow this method with creating a table, and you're done with it. So base 8 and base 12 is not that difficult after all. The second thing, the next thing is that I'm coming up with a decode, or probably a potential prediction, quote unquote prediction, about the Golden Gate Bridge or any bridge in the United States of America. Let's say, in your terms, which will be the most important bridge in America?
Well, the most symbolic bridge is the Golden Gate Bridge in America, no doubt about it. So,
if I want to connect it with the Marvel movie, well, in 2003, I forgot which year it was, but in one of the old X-Men movies, the one with Hugh Jackman, and Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen. So in one of those old X-Men movies, I guess it was X3, Last Stand, something like that. In that movie, it was also depicted that Magneto, who was a villain of that /hero, something like that, of that movie, he destroys the um, Golden Gate Bridge from the middle, which is very similar to the movie which was shown. It was shown in another movie as well, that the bridge is destroyed from the middle. San Andreas was it? Yeah, exactly. San Andreas was one. San Andreas was one, and the other one was Final Destination 5 or 6. I don't remember which number it was. I never watched that series. I never watched that movies. It was it was in one of the Final Destination movies. If you write, okay, sorry, I'm writing a phrase in the private chat. Try to find what the value of that is. It will be interesting to see this. I'm writing a phrase. I have wrote a phrase in the private chat. Try decoding that. It's hilarious.
okay, let me see. In the private
And also
chat.
the name. That name is that journalist which I was talking about earlier.
You're talking about the longer sentence that you wrote. Decode that phrase?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wow. So where does this sentence come from? 9/11 was an inside job orchestrated by a very top secret group in the U.S. government. Is that an actual sentence from?
Exactly. That I'm still finding very direct, because this was just in my book. I just saw this in my notes, and now I can't forget now because I wrote it down in my notes. I pinned it down in my notes. Now I can't forget because I did not bookmark it properly. I'm not getting the article. It was probably from some article, probably an article that was getting let's see. Uh, it's hilarious. It's 911.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah, it'd be interesting to find where that sentence came from. So.
Yeah, I'm finding this for the last week. I haven't found it, but it is a very oldie. But I found this last year before my birthday, so it was probably because since it is there in my book, it's probably because of some website or probably some video where this is mentioned. Like
hey, here's another
subtitles.
201 for the record. For the record, another 201 that actually came out of 9/11 is people in America will remember this one. We stopped calling them French fries and we started calling them freedom fries, which equals 201. And of course, the Jesuits are from France, so the joke makes extra sense. But yeah, that was one of the things that happened in America. Yellow bumper stickers and freedom fries after 9/11. So,
and not to forget with the sixes and the hold on. I learned French back in my elementary school, and I remember that French, as in the map of France, it's a hexagon shape. So keep that in mind. If you get any sixes when it comes to France or any rituals, because you were talking about the November 13 ritual a while ago when I joined. Back when I joined, that was interesting because I was very young at that time, and I did catch up the Friday the 13th reference. And I was talking about that with the friends. They never got it. But then I shared the movie about it, which was the Da Vinci Code. They really got it instantly. What I was talking about.
The main thing to
reference.
grasp on the surface was in France. That's where the superstition of Friday the 13th comes from, when they burn the Knights Templar at the stake.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I learned. That's how I learned the reference of Friday the 13th when I first watched that movie. So April 11th. So this is a while back. I guess this is the time what I was missing in the previous Sunday night shows, that there is an interesting history with the April 11th. So that date can be written as 114. And I guess probably more than a month back, I was talking to you that this number 114 is getting it's repeated everywhere. Just like how 102 is always attached. Most of the time, it is attached with the number 201. 102 is attached most of the times. Let's say, for example, George Perry Floyd equals 201 and 102. Um, so the date 11th of April. Well, Tel Aviv, the capital of Israel, was founded on April 11, 1909. It was all Apollo 13 was launched on April 11. Apple One, which is the computer, that boxy, huge, ugly computer, that was created on April 11th. Um, if you get into something like politics, Lyndon B. Johnson signs the Civil Rights of 1968, Civil Rights Act of 1968. I'm sure that must be something related with Martin Luther King Jr. because he died in '68 and he was civil rights actor, activist. And okay, so this is something I talked about in a super chat. That remember I talked to, and this is you must be knowing this. For you guys, it is May the 1st, the day Illuminati was created. Also, the day my state was split into two, by the way. So it was a Maharashtra day, by the way, yesterday. Um, but today, right now, it is early morning of May 2nd, the day Osama bin Laden died. But he was declared dead, or he was declared deceased officially on the FBI website on May the 3rd, which can be written as 3/5, like Catholic, like Holy See, like I. But
Osama bin Laden also has the 241 in his name, the 53rd prime.
again, so yeah, that can be written as the day 5/3 in America. So I also mentioned that that was 911th day from Obama winning the election on November 4th, 2008, if you remember that. And May 3rd is also 201 days before the vice president of that time, Joe Biden, whose birthday is on November 20. And if you write November 20, that equals 201.
Huh.
Do you get that thing with the
Uh-huh.
May 3rd? And May 3rd is also, that number 53 is also the 16th prime. And 16 is again square of 4, which is like 44, the kill number. Which I mentioned in my recent free to find post last night, which shared it. Did I ever say that 2001 Space Odyssey is also 2 hours 22 minutes long, like 222? And okay, this is a comment which I left. This was I replied this to Kayla's comment in one of your recent videos, the one on Al Qaeda, which you made the video which you made on Al Qaeda, the 33 minutes video. I did comment on that, but there was something else that I replied to Kayla's comment. That is, if you spell out the number 68, that equals 56. Because you were talking about Al Qaeda, you were talking about 68, you were talking about 968 in that video, and I also mentioned that 68, the date, like if you number 68, June the 8th is the day when Prophet Muhammad was born, or he died. I forgot that. Hold on. He died in history on the day 8th of June, like 6/8 or 8/6,
Right.
in the year 632 or 631. And So what was I forgot my chain of thought. uh, yeah, 68 equals 56. Also, 56 with the th, like the cardinal number, that equals 56. And they both equal 70, and 70, as we know that I've talked about this, that 70 is 56 in basic counting. Talking about, I don't want to talk about it, but still I will talk about it. Have you heard about the new variant of coronavirus? The XE variant?
The one that equals
Did you see some?
201.
I don't know if it equals to 0. I only know that the new coronavirus variant is called XE. And the only thing that comes with my mind is that it is the short version for xenon, the 54th element. And what's interesting with that number is that if you write 54, that equals 54. That's the interesting part of that number. Yoshidoro equals to 54 as well. And there's something else I was talking. Oh, did you know that they know Sun Tzu is not his birth name of that guy? His birth name is Sun Wu.
I think they say he died as a Wu.
As in, no, he didn't. He was born as a Wu, but Zhu, TZU is it's an honorific title like master. So the translation also is master son, and master we know is 33. Order is 33. Mason is 33. Anyways, we know that number 33. The 33 vertebrae in the human backbone also. The 33 years of lifespan of Jesus Christ. But okay, another thing, natural disaster. Natural disaster equals, I'm talking about the word in the singular form without the S. So natural disaster equals 56. It also equals 223, reverse of 322. Also 2223 is the 48th prime like Illuminati. But in the English extended version, in the English extended cipher, natural disaster equals 1181. That is the 194th prime. So keep this in mind. There might be some natural disaster on April 19th. Or probably there might be plans or something next year. But in history, I'm looking for any natural disasters on April 19th. But if you decode that word in plural, natural disasters, that equals 201 and 231, like Ignatius of Loyola. It also equals 114, which I'm talking about. That this number is coming up very frequently, the 114 number. But in Jewish gematria, natural disasters equals 911. It also equals 201 in the English original number, and in the alphabetic order. So the natural disaster, I'm there, and since I mentioned recently, just a while back, that November earthquake equals 201, November solar flare equals 201. So there might be some natural calamity coded by the numbers, quote unquote natural, because I don't know in today's time if there is anything really natural, because we got the tornadoes, we got the storms that are all synced up with the numbers. Highly likely to be the experiments with the harp. And did I tell you that the number, that the phrase, the repeating number also equals 201?
If you just write the repeating number.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this was there in my last, like as in last night, early morning for you. You read my comment, my comment on the free to find website. Over there, I mentioned this. Yeah, that if you write the phrase, the repeating number, that equals 201.
Okay, interesting.
So does the word sacred number equals 201.
Okay.
And I mentioned this because you questioned that probably is August 10th the day when Kamala Harris becomes the 47th. That day can be written as 10/8, like 108, and 108 is of great significance in Eastern traditions as well as Western counterparts. If you don't mind, can I share the screen just for like one slide of my presentation?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because that's slide talks about the 108s, several 108s in Eastern traditions. I guess it's also in the Western traditions. Hold on. Okay, I got my screen up. Transfer play 108.
Maybe
Okay,
I
yeah,
maybe
got
I
it.
have to stop sharing my screen so you can share yours.
I don't think I don't think so. If that is the case, I will just check it out. Screen share slides. Nope. Screen share. Screen share window. PowerPoint. Okay, yeah, share. It is sharing now. You just need to allow this share to be. Yeah, these are all the 108s. On the left, you could see on the cultures, traditions. On the right, you could just see the on the mathematical uh, decode on that.
And again, just to remind people that the word geometry, it's got gematria 108 forwards and backwards. And again, the distance from the Earth to the sun, the diameter of 108 suns, the
Oh.
diameter of the sun, 108 Earths, from the Earth to the moon, the diameter of 108 moons. Sun worship equals 108.
Sorry to interrupt, but I can go on with that because this is what the slide is about. The slide is about sacred geometry. I'll just keep this for like a couple of minutes more, but I will go back to what you're talking about, and that is what people can take the screenshot for. Okay, I'll just change this for now. What you were talking about is where is it? This, right?
Right.
Now you see those numbers. You see the 432. You see the 360. You see 120 right side.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I was talking about when I was talking about when I first found your work. So this is what I was doing way before I found your work. So that made a lot of sense. So your work just amplified what I was doing already. With the 108, 108 also twice of 54, half of 216. The screen which you're on right now, I don't know the resolution when it comes to Apple products, but it's probably for most of the people it is a full HD screen that is 1080p.
Right.
The number is 1080p, and P does not stand for pixels, guys. It's progression. It's 1920 pixels on the x-axis multiplied by 1080 times on the y-axis. Hence, you get the 1080p. And just on the left side, on the left bottom, you see 1:1, 2:2, and 3:3 also equals 108. So that's an interesting thing. We know that date 12/3 in America is written as 12/3, December 3rd, the day Francis was born or he was died. Again, I forget who was born and who was died. But Francis Xavier was born on that date, or he died on that date, that December the 3rd. Also, day of tragedy. In India, there was a huge a gas explosion, a gas leak. Sorry, not an explosion, a gas leak which left millions affected even till today, and killed thousands of people at that time. The entire thing was covered up. The company, which was the company was called Biocon, probably. But anyways, the company was a foreign company. It was um, charged for various counts by the courts. There was an out of court settlement as well, but they all ran away, and then nothing happened. Nothing. No one was compensated for that thing, and that was the biggest. It is still the biggest industrial disaster. I don't know if Chernobyl can be counted as an industrial disaster because that was more of a country level. That was a nuclear thing. That's a different from a commercial industry. So this was because it's probably the biggest commercial industrial disaster, something like that. Chernobyl remains to be on top of the list of disasters. I know that there are categories of that, and the name of that category. Hold on, let me see that because this is also what I mentioned when I decoded about the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear disaster that equals 201. Fukushima disaster. Um, it is of INES rank level 7, and there are, I guess, only two such instances where there have been any disasters that are rank 7, and The reverse and in the satanic, in the both of the satanic ciphers, forwards and backwards, that the hold on, I'm just sharing it on the private chat. IEINES. That is the uh, what's it? It's an international nuclear and radiological event scaling method. It's a tool for communicating the safety guidance of nuclear and radiological events to the public. The short form of that, INES, that equals 201 in the reverse satanic order. In the satanic cipher, it equals 187, like Society of Jesus. But even in the four base ciphers, the numbers are also not new. They are the same numbers, 47, 20, 25. So we see that 47. In my decodes, I'm decoding since the last 6-7 months. Uh, Decoding continuously for the last 6-7 months. Uh, what would you say, Zach, which is the number which you have seen the most in your last 13 years of decoding?
The number I've seen the most, it's got to be 47.
Exactly. I was going to say the same thing in the first 6 months of my decodes. You also got the what is 46 banner on your background. There is
Again, that for people don't know,
number.
that's how I even found out gematria, because I knew there was something to numbers even besides 47, but especially after 9/11, which seemed like it was all about numerology. But I noticed just for so many years, I was like, come on, 47 again. And then you'd read an article, there'd be like 2 47s. And it's like, what is it about this number? It just seems like they stick it in every last story. And then lo and behold, you find gematria and realize news equals 47 and authorities 47 and times 4. You're like, okay, this number's, I see that. Okay, there really is something to this number. I wanted to ask you though about the 108 chakras in the slide you just had up. How does that work?
So technically, if you go into the details, just hold on. Yeah. So with the chakras is that there are supposed to be 114 of all the total. Again, that number, remember I told you that the number is coming up very frequently. So there are 114. Out of that, 2 of them are outside the human etheric body. So I'm talking about things that even I don't completely understand. So bear with me. So there are 2 on our body, let's say the etheric body. I'm not talking about the physical realm. I'm talking about different realms. And 2 of them are outside the body. So you're left with 112. And then again, that number is of importance because Catholicism equals 112, mathematics equals mathematics equals to 112. Out of them, again, 4 of them are um, kept aside because they are from of different categories, something like that. So the most important of them are 108. And again, if you go with the most basic of them, the basic chakras, there are 7 in number. And okay, I'll just share this again. There's also an importance with the number
Does
7.
this sound right? I just looked up a quick blurb and it says from the heart chakra, there are 108 lines that go out from the heart chakra to the other 6 chakras.
Hold on. Where is it? Have you shared it on the private chat?
Well, here, I could share it on the screen. I just did a quick Google search and that's what it came up with. But yeah, I can put the little blurb up on the screen. Let's see here. Nadis. 108 lines of energy nadis that go out from your heart chakra to the other 6 chakras.
Oh yeah, this is true. The heart chakra is one of the most important things.
Okay. I like that graphic you put up though. I'd never seen it look so nice with the sun and the moon and all that. So
yeah, and also with the 7s, I also have the screen. I'll share the screen regarding the 7s. Again, this all shares with my all my presentations before adding any gematria to that. They're all interconnected. They're about 3 main topics. The first one is about lost ancient civilizations. The second one is about sacred geometry, tying up with that. And the third one is about the myths about climate change, because the climate has been very much chaotic in the past rather than just looking into the recent past of 200 years. That's the problem when it comes to Um, that's the problem when it comes to the general public. If they look up to things like, let's say, Greta Thunberg, what she's sharing and what is always shared on the screen or in the news. Okay, this is the one which should be on screen. Uh, Most people ignore the fact, or they just overlook this thing, that whatever these experts are talking about the climate change, that we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to change this, we need to change that. First of all, it is these corporations and the way of life that they have changed, manipulated the way of living for a common man to be so disastrous to nature, by the way. And they are the ones now advocating to make the changes for the betterment of nature. Anyway, that's a hypocrisy. What I was talking about is all of these experts are just mentioning or talking about the climate change on Earth in the last 200 years, and especially after the fourth industrial revolution, which is true. Which is true. I'm not denying on that. And no one with the presentation which I have denies that there have been um, increase of emissions of carbon emissions after the fourth industrial revolution. But if you go into history, like much deeper history, I'm talking about thousands of years of history, up till 10 or 15,000 years, you will see the Earth has been uh, exponentially chaotic. If you just look at the graph, I will share that on some other day, but that's a different story. Uh, you know how the geological history is measured. They go to the two places. They either go to Antarctica, as in the experts, the geologists. They either go to Antarctica or they go to Greenland. Over there, they go to some unexplored ice, and over there they dig the ice cores that are like several kilometers deep. It takes years for them to dig that, and when they get on the cores, then they study the layers that have been, stored in the ice sheets, and from there they deduce that what must have been the uh, climate at that time in that area, or probably much of the Earth. So there's something called the Younger Dryas event, which is in line with the uh, time that Plato talks about Atlantis. So all that thing is also common. Atlantis is again those who have uh, listened to the radio shows of Bill Cooper. He mentions that Atlanta, Georgia, in America is the new day Atlantis in terms of rituals. Now I don't know how much that is true because I haven't never left my country, so I don't know much about the local stuff about America. So, but yeah, the name suggests so. Then that might be true. That Atlanta is the new day Atlantis in terms of rituals. A lot of shootings happen over there, right? As in, I'm not talking about shooting. I'm talking about filming. Sorry, a lot of filming happens in Atlanta. That's what I know about Atlanta. That's it. When it comes to Marvel. But if you see on the screen, you see the importance of number seven. Uh, Keep this in mind. The seven. You also see something that there's that the seven wisdom beings. I haven't mentioned this over here because I mentioned this in my other presentation. That in many cultures, at least in these five different cultures, uh, there is this mentioning about there are seven wisdom beings. They are the bringers of civilization and highly advanced and highly intelligent, and they are the ones that sow the seeds of civilization. And I don't have them right now with me in this presentation, but you can just look it up. They are the Apkalus, the seven Apkalus of Sumeria, ancient Sumeria, the Saptarishis of India, Quetzalcoatl in Mexico, or probably South America, somewhere over there, Latin or South America. But you see the repeating number of seven in terms of creation, something like that. There are seven number days of the week. Seventh is the dressing day according to Christianity or according to Bible. But yeah, the number seven, again, importance. The seven wonders, the seven seas, the seven land masses.
Indeed. The 7 colors of the spectrum.
Okay, yeah, exactly. 7 colors of the Vibgyor. I was studying about that. I already studied about the color theory, and it's interesting. You see all the colors. Also, Isaac. I mentioned this last time, but I guess I'll just repeat it again if people have forgotten. What was the colors for the Jesuits or the Knights Templar or all in all? I would say just of Rome. They all derive from Rome, and they all derive from Greek. Their robes, their clothes were of three distinct colors: white, red, and black. Again, the Greeks and the Romans used to wear those things. I know women used to wear the purple. I don't know if men used to wear purple. I guess not. The purple, because purple is color for royalty, and in today's time, no flag has the color purple in there. And no country has the purple color in their flags. That is a fact. And yeah, I won't bore people up because I've been talking about that. I'm talking for the last 30 plus minutes. But yeah, I'll just shut up right now. And if there is anything, I'll come up with it. But yeah, these are the decodes which I have right now today for now. I went very fast, I know that. But if people didn't get it, there is always free to find truth and Twitter to follow me.
Indeed. Well, very interesting as always, D26. And
Thank you.
we do have a couple more people who've joined the stream. Phantom Broken, you've been patient. What's going on?
It's good to be back here. Yo, I was just wondering if you ever saw this documentary In Shadows.
I don't think so. What's it about?
I saw that.
Yeah, you definitely need to watch it. Like, I feel like it's the right documentary for you, and I think everyone needs to see it. Like, seriously.
In Shadows?
Yeah, In Shadows. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
It came out before the QAnon whole shit, so it's just before that. So it's hard to relate to that.
Wait, it's not called Out of Shadows, is it?
No, not Out of Shadows. Just go on YouTube called In Shadow.
Oh.
It's like a animation documentary. It's like a short animated film.
The shadows or just singular?
Just singular.
In
My
Shadow.
bad. Yeah, In Shadow. It's on YouTube.
Is it
right
short?
there? Yeah, right there.
13 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll check it out.
I'm gonna get off, but I just want to throw out a shout out to. There's a YouTube channel that I always watch that's always entertaining. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. Woodward TV.
That name is familiar, so I must have seen it at some point. Woodward TV.
He goes over a concept and that's it. Like, just goes over a concept. But I'm gonna get off for the night. But yeah, Woodward TV is a pretty cool channel to see.
Okay.
All right, there you go. I love y'all. You gotta go. It's late.
All right. Have a good one, Brian. Thanks, man.
Yeah, bye, guys.
Okay. Phantom Broken, you were probably in the middle of your thought.
Yeah, just click on it and like. I think it's a pretty good just short film.
Well, I will check it out. I just don't want to get anything taken down for copyright. Sometimes
I don't think you're gonna get copyright. I don't.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I will definitely check it out. So.
There's a lot of truth in it.
Okay. So, In Shadow, a modern Odyssey animated short film. I'm guessing it's probably like on the level of I Pet Goat 2, something like that.
I guess so. Yeah.
Have you not seen I Pet Goat?
Nah.
Oh, I guess I've seen this. I watched this. Yeah, probably. This is very true. This is the an animation. They have explained what's wrong with the world. If I sum this up in one phrase.
Okay, I'm gonna definitely check it out because I have not seen it before. I would play it, but man, I've just had so many things taken down for copyright. I'm just gonna.
You must have watched the clips. You will small clips on TikTok or Instagram, the reels. But this is a very famous one. Yeah, I've seen this. I've seen the small clips of this thing. Yeah. Hey Zach, I got couple of things to add to the 9/11 thing, if you don't mind. I just found this. I missed this a few things. But
okay.
I'll come up. Can I share this right now?
Uh-huh.
You know, the first day. Have you done any decode about have you done a deep dive about the 9/11 Commission?
I've looked a little bit at 9/11 Commission, but I definitely haven't done any deep dives. So
Do you know the day it started is the 201st day after 9/11? Can you believe that? Which
is that right?
March of the, yeah.
Well, that's
Just
a
look it
great
up.
find right there.
Yeah.
I should have had that one. Good one.
I'm just getting the thing. It started on March 31st. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, it started the first hearing. Okay, don't get confused with what they have seen on the first report. If you go to the history part of that Wikipedia page about 9/11 Commission, uh, in the last line of the history subtitle, it is said the first hearings were held from March 31st to April 1st. Again, April 1st is like /1, the date memory of 9/11, and March 31st. We don't have Jeff Young today, but it is his birthday, isn't it? March 31st. That is 201 days uh, after 9/11 and 201 days before October 18th, the day we had Event 201. And if you write the word the Federal Bureau of Investigation, that equals 337, which is the 68th prime. Again, the number connecting with the 68. There's something else as well. The commission ended on 21st of August 2004 in the 36th month of 9/11, 2001. So also the day leaving 132 days left in the United States of America equals 132. New York equals 111. Since New York equals 666 in English Sumerian, as I said, the commission and 666 is the 36th triangular number, and the commission ended in the 36th month from 9/11. And both the date emojis have, as in the start date and the end date have numerology of 15, 1, 5. With that thing, and the other thing with the 9/11 Commission is that initially there were 10 members on the 9/11 Commission, 5 Republican, 5 Democrats, obviously. Max Cleland is the Democrat who resigned in December 2003, stating that the White House has played a cover-up. He was replaced by another Democrat named Bob Kerrey, making so do you get that? How many people were on 9/11 Commission? There were 5 Republican and 6 Democrats on the 9/11 Commission, like 5/6, 56.
Right.
And Thomas Keane was the chairman of the 9/11 Commission, and his name, Thomas H. Keane, equals 56, and his full name, Thomas Howard Keane, equals 68. Again,
I was just saying that,
68.
and his birthday is the opposite day of 9/11 because he's born on the 111th day of the year, leaving 254 days remaining, and then of course 9/11 is the 254th day of the year, leaving 111.
I did talk about that. It is also, let's say, April 21st, the Queen's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is what I was talking about. It's also the Queen's birthday.
You know what else is interesting? I'm just looking at some stuff in real time since you brought this up. This is worth a deep dive. It sounds like you already got a lot of it. But from the day that they formed the commission to the day that they had the first hearing is 124 days later, and Tower of Babel is 124, since that has the riddle of 9/11 in Genesis 11:9.
Okay, I didn't know about the what is it? I don't get the Bible reference because you must have read the Bible, at least some parts of it. I haven't read any of it. I only read what you guys have shared on the screen, or say on your website, on GematriaEffectNews. But this is something which I found this on your website. So if you go to your own website, when have you posted this very recently, exactly a month before today, on April 2nd, 2022. You mentioned that. This is a biblical reference about the verse Mark 9:40. Do you recall anything like that?
I got to go back. I've already forgotten.
So this is on your own website. If you just write Mark 9:40, you will be taken to what George Bush saying that he used to often say that you're either with us or against us after September 11th. Which sounds more like a Freemasonic thing rather than Skull and Bones thing. But that number, right? 940. Uh, do you remember the speech of George H.W. Bush about the New World Order on September 11, 1990,
Yes.
when he was addressing the Joint Commission?
Yes.
But did you know that when did he mention the word New World Order?
Where?
At 9 o'clock 40 minutes in the evening.
Really?
Yeah, exactly. So it's the same number which you mentioned, which you had talked about in your website about that.
How did
biblical
you
reference
figure
about
that out?
9:40.
Were you like watching an old broadcast where the time was on the screen?
Exactly. If you want, I will share the screen on your email. But first of all, I had to figure out that I need to find the full. I need to find the broadcast, not the video, because the broadcast must have a time in that on the right side bottom. And yeah, it did have, and it was 9:40. It was like it was not exactly 9:40, but it synced up with that. As soon as it's 9:40, he mentioned that for the New World Order. It's like 9:40, 9 hours 40 minutes and 11 seconds, something like that. But it's also synced up with 94. George H.W. Bush died at the age of 94, if I'm not wrong.
That's correct.
Okay, yeah. It's also the date, September 4th. I don't get any relation with 9/11. But if you remember the actor which I talked about in
No,
the
there
first-
is actually, if you count September 4th through December 31st, that's a total of 119 days.
But why would but what is the special? How is it connected with September 4th? Did anything happen, or was anyone born on that day?
Well, I thought you were just saying about this the numbers, how it would fit in with 119, just the 94119 thing.
Oh, okay. If you mean that day, but that date, September 4th, it's the birthday of that actor which I mentioned in my first ever TFI call. If you remember that, remember the two Indian actors who died back to back within 24 hours, and they both
Right.
acted in just one movie, which was called D-Day. And D-Day is a story of Normandy landings. And by the way, when I talk a little more about history, I know some people don't like talking about history, but let me get this operation. Maybe something for I got it right. Remember Normandy landings? They have a different name as well. Let me take that. Normandy landings. So Normandy landings are also called as Operation Neptune. Did you know this?
I did not know that. So there's Neptune again.
Neptune again. Shout out to Rambo. If he's watching this, he should know this, that Normandy landings in France, which is around 6/6, the day Robert F. Kennedy died in 68. By Sirhan Sirhani, his name equals 66, and obviously Robert Kennedy equals 66. But yeah, something more about Neptune. And I got to look up into the Vedic astrology because that is also interesting when it comes to Gematria. And there is an Indian number system. I found this way back, but I never looked into this. I never got the time because there is no calculator for this. So I have to do this by hand, with my notes. So I just took a break from this. But it's called the Kata Prayadi system. I'll just share the screen with you guys. I wish I can make the trip, if not this year, probably next year when it comes to 9/11, because I really want to share with the 9/11 stuff. Because I'm making the document just for that purpose. I had planned it way before.
Well, if you
Just
can't
for
make it,
9/11.
whatever you want us to present on your behalf, we'll be happy to do. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm making the video. That is why it is taking long. I mentioned about this. I also shared my entire transcript to you. I'm changing this every line. I'm making a transcript. First of all, I'm writing a script. What points we have to talk about, what decodes. I have found new things as well, just like this thing, the 940 thing, when he talks about the New World Order at 9 hours and 40 minutes. And he also talks about the word terror, and he talks about this just before going on war with Iran, Saddam Hussein. And then we have 11 years later, his son was also going on war with the Middle East.
okay, D26, I'd love
Yeah,
to hear
that's
more,
it.
but we do have some other people that in the show that
Exactly,
are
that's
super
it.
patient. So
Those were
let's
the-
let them get
yeah.
in. Phantom
Those were the
Broken,
only
do you
points
want
I
to
wanted
finish
to
your thought? And then we got Jer with us, and then of course Shelby's back again too. So,
Of course. I feel like if more people, I guess, if we just showed like the masses or like people who are just unaware like what's going on, like this documentary, I think it'd be pretty impactful, to be quite honest with you.
the In Shadow, you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna check it out because I haven't seen it before. It looks like there he's trying to show that people lost their heart. So
Yeah, it has a lot of symbolism, spiritual stuff. It's and all the things that is wrong with the world and how it's just so backwards. So
okay, I'm gonna check it out tonight. Yeah, it's new for me. So that captures the classroom scene so well right there.
yep.
Yeah. Okay. Was that the main thing you wanted to bring on tonight?
Also, I also been like investigating into this incident back in 2014 that happened in South Korea. It was the sinking of MV Seoul.
MV Seoul. Navy
It's like
vessel or-
SEWOL, not like Seoul, the capital. Yeah, it sounds similar, but
Okay. South Korean vehicle passenger ferry, April 16th, 2014.
and like right off the bat, like April 16th, compare that to the Titanic.
It's right
when that
after.
happened. Yeah, it's
Right, the day
crazy.
after.
And it's like I've just been thinking, like, why? It seems like in the month of April, something always be happening with ships sinking, like all this type of stuff, like
Well, it's
always
like
be
this year.
occurring.
This year on the anniversary of the Titanic sinking, they said a Russian Navy vessel sunk. It's like, come on, man. But yeah, this is the day after, so that is
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, I don't know if I covered that one before.
yeah. I think it's like one of the biggest tragedies that happened in South Korea as well.
Yeah, another one to research. Okay, interesting. Was there anything else you wanted to share?
Shoot, man. I have a feeling like what if we're quote unquote already in like this new world order? You feel me? Like,
We're definitely in it. It's been going on. It's just getting worse and worse.
I would have a feeling like, what if like this whole new world order stuff happened before, probably maybe began in like World War I or just something of that matter.
You broke up a little bit, but it sounded like maybe you said maybe it started around the time of the World Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say it definitely did. So after World War II, the world changed in a big way. Countries got carved up. The U.S. dollar, all currencies got pegged to it. It's what propped up the U.S. The U.S. has been like the police of the world ever since. And now we're at this transition phase. But yeah, the New World Order, it's definitely, like I always say, the New World Order is an old world order. It's getting worse and worse. We gotta stop it. So
I'd even go back further than that. Go back to the American Civil War and the Jesuits having their hands. Yeah, the Jesuits having their hands all over that, with Lincoln even admitting it himself, and them buying up DC after words in 1871.
What do they call this part of the world that we live in? They call it the New World. So
yeah, exactly. It's the World Government Summit meeting in Dubai. I listened to like the first 20 minutes of it, and I honestly I would be interested to listen more to it just to see what they're talking about. Because we know whenever they try to put a good spin on something, it's going to eventually manifest into something ugly. And they even had like Klaus Schwab make a virtual appearance and talk about, how we know that there's going to be shortages. Shortages need to happen for this. It's like
I really feel like that guy's like trying to play like a villain from a movie. The way he talks and everything, it's like this is such a mockery. This guy.
Yeah, so. It literally is. Like his voice sounds like it's behind like some metal mask that like a transformer or something would wear.
Right. Yeah, it's just over the top.
And but no, I mean the American Civil War, I mean The Jesuits were all in that. They were, I mean, even going back to the founding of the United States, like in the 1700s. I mean, the Capitol Hill was built on the farmland of the Carroll family, who who had their hands all in the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, and of course John Carroll founded Georgetown, and they've been raising Manchurian candidates there for God knows how long. So,
indeed.
Yeah,
we still got to let two more people who've been on the show and been super patient say hello. Is it Jerub? Jerub?
It's Jared.
Jared. Why does it look like a B on my screen? Did you spell your name wrong?
Oh yeah, I did. I didn't realize that.
That's okay. I've done that before too. All right, Jared. What's up, Jared?
Oh, nothing. This is just something I just found just today. So anyone's free to jump in if they think of anything too. But I was thinking about the date of the 11th, 5/11, and how another way, the same numbers as November 5th, and in that Batman movie, you got all the shit goes down on November 5th.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, I've seen it. Has a lot of gematria stuff in the film.
Yeah,
but
there's symbols in there. Yeah. But so I was playing around with some dates, and I noticed a peculiarity that if you go 1,229 days before the 11th, you land on the date 12/29 of 2018. So like, wow, that's interesting. So I was, looking around some articles, snooping around, and two things jumped out at me on that day. One was the death of the world's oldest World War II veteran. He died at 112, and his birthday just so happened to be May 11th. And another thing that happened that day was the EPA announced that they were easing up on mercury restrictions. And I know like that's connected to the Queen and stuff like that. And May Queen actually equals 115. With the reference to like the spring clean for the May Queen. And so I just think it's an interesting date. And chances are that they're going to probably do some sort of, big thing connected to it at some point, some disaster or God knows what. But if anybody has anything to add, I don't got much else for tonight.
Okay, well, interesting observations. So appreciate it.
Yep.
Shelby's been super patient. What's up, Shelby?
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Can you open up the link that I left in the private chat here in StreamYard?
Yeah, let me get it here. Okay. What's up?
All right. So I just posted this a little bit ago and then realized that this show was on, but I found this cluster match a while back, maybe a couple weeks ago. So I wanted to share this. So it's Wednesday, August 10th, 2022. Matches the term Joe Biden assassination, which matches the 25th Amendment in the reverse ordinal. And that matches Kamala Devi Harris and 47th president in reverse for reduction. So I thought that was really interesting, especially since we've been talking a lot about that a little bit here and there. But I found that. What do you think of that cluster match? What's your thoughts?
It is interesting. Again, 107 connects to shooting. Reminds me of JFK killed in Dealey Plaza, which is a 108. And we're talking about the date 10/8. And you got the 107 and the 109, which are both shooting numbers up there. So,
Can I add something real quick?
Oh, go ahead.
Well, George Bush's mom died on the 107th day of the year. And as far as August 10th, the first satellite program ever was named Corona. of all things. And the last one was the last satellite in the program was on that date of August 10th. In that mission, they launched 144 satellites, 102 returned, blah, 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 you know how to do it. But I just wanted to add that.
You know that date? Or wait, no, never mind. I got the wrong date up here. I put up for some reason I punched in 10/8 backwards. I just noticed that October 8th is 322 days after Biden's birthday and 46 weeks. So anyway.
Yeah, that's interesting. I keep decoding all these USFL games, and every time there's like a fumble, there's been 3 fumble recoveries for touchdowns. And every time that happens, like the 2 players match, their names match Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's name one way or another, And then, you get this the rest of these terms going on. So that's, they're just, this whole USFL league is just completely scripted with the presidential front, actually. It just blows my mind. I'm glad I know this gematria language. But so this is on my blog on Tumblr called News by the Numbers. If anybody wants to follow me, it'd be great. I've got like probably 8 followers, and I'm probably 2 of them. So
yeah, it's very interesting. And again, for people who don't know, Kamala was born the day that Herbert Hoover died, who was the Great Depression president. And then August 10th is his birthday. And of course, Gerald Ford at the Herbert Hoover Library talked about how the first female president will come when the male president dies while there's a female who's VP. And again, it's funny how all this could perfectly line up with Herbert Hoover. So,
you know what? You type in West Branch, Iowa. It also fits in that cluster there. I just didn't want to add too much to make it too confusing. Also, President Ford's real name was Leslie Lynch King Jr.
I think
that was
right.
his birth name, Leslie Lynch King Jr.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So like Loretta Lynch,
Right.
So that name actually fits in that cluster too. I just didn't list it because I just wanted to keep it simple there.
Sure. Yeah, a lot of times that's the best thing to do. All right,
man. Thanks, man. You guys have a good night.
All right. Thanks for keeping it short and sweet. Appreciate it, Shelby.
Later.
Now, DK Stonewood, who usually has the connectivity issues, he said he'd like to call in. So if you're out there, DK Stonewood, you're welcome to call in. Again, it's funny that the new Mike Myers Illuminati spoof film mentions a town in Croatia. Again, DK Stonewood is Croatian, he told us the last time he was on, so maybe he knows why they reference that town.
Hey, yo, Zach, one more thing I have to say. Also, check out this film, Maze Runner. Has a lot of predictive programming with the whole virus stuff.
Okay,
and in the film, in the film, the virus is called a flare virus. And, with coronavirus, how it's similar with the flare with the sun. Has a lot. Yeah, it has a lot to do with that. So, what that I noticed, and also someone already decoded it on BitChute. If you just search up the film on there, and I found it pretty interesting.
Okay, Maze Runner, interesting. Hey, the film runs 113 minutes, like coronavirus pandemic.
Oh, wow! I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Another thing too is from the date of May 11th. Think about it, that's 311 days after Independence Day.
Okay.
And 201 weeks exactly before that day is Independence Day of the same year that I was talking, 2018, which I haven't got a chance to look at. I just saw that earlier, but it's just another peculiarity.
Okay. We got DK Stonewood phoning in. What's up, DK?
I don't want to interrupt anybody. I'll just stay till the person that's talking is done, unless somebody is. I'm probably
okay. Here, were you finished with your thought, or did you have more to say about the Maze Runner?
Not really. That's about it.
Okay. All right, go ahead then, DK. You got the floor.
Yeah, Maze Runner is a sweet movie. It's a true. I think they came out with the fourth one. There's like Maze Runner's the original. Then you got Scorched Trails and another. But yeah, that's a really good one. It's an allegory about how we're being force reincarnated into this Lucifer matrix and having our memory wiped. These guys show up in the maze and then they can't remember their names for a while. And then when they remember their name, everybody's cheering. They're like, "Hey, you finally woke up." It's a pretty. It's a trippy allegory.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
I didn't even finish listening to all of D26's stuff, but all that stuff he was talking about, 7, that's really interesting and really viable. Everything, all the sacred geometry is based on like 3, 6, 9, but then everything regarding like the way the levels of consciousness work is based on 7. So like we have 7 chakras. There's 7 basic colors, which are the colors of our chakras, which come from the 7 basic frequencies, which are the solfeggio frequencies. And you got 7 days of the week. Schumann resonance is 7.1. There's 7 Buddhic planes. There's 7 gates. So the 7 is definitely really important. And when he was talking about Atlas and Pleione, this is also an allegory. So the Pleiades as the 7 planets called the 7 sisters. That's why they allegorically had 7 daughters. And when the Earth was invaded by larger reptilian beings, as the story goes, and as the petroglyphs show, that there was some large reptilian-looking beings about twice the size of humanity that could eat us like a lion could eat you in the jungle. That they were just overwhelming humanity based on size. So the Pleiadians, who are the progenitors or one of the progenitors of the human race, got pissed off. So they're like, "Look, they're messing with our experiment. What are we going to do? They're just overwhelming us just with sheer size." So then they said, "Okay, you know what we'll do? We'll put some big humans there that are just the same size of these reptilians, so that it'll be an even level the playing field." So the biggest humans in the Pleiades are from planet Atlas. And those are the Atlans. That's why you got the god Atlas, who's so big and strong he could carry the world on his shoulders. They have the statue of Atlas. So the Atlans were sent here to protect humanity from these larger invaders. And then when they came here, they kind of started partying and having sex with the human women because they were kind of like Atlas was considered like a party planet in the Pleiades. So as kind of a slight punishment, they were said, "Hey, listen. Since you guys, all you're doing is partying and, not really doing much, go down here and help one of our experiments, our human lineage that we seeded on Earth." And those ended up being called the fallen angels because they're more of like fifth density realm, like 5th density consciousness in the Pleiades, which is considered angelic compared to us in 3rd density. So that would be a fallen angel, not an evil one. If it was an evil one, it would have been called a fallen demon. So they kind of twisted that whole story. And you even have let me pull up the lyrics. I took a snapshot of the lyrics while he was talking. There's a Red Hot Chili Pepper song called, God, what the heck is the name of the song? Cold Out or something like that. Cool Out. Anyways, there's a lyric goes, "Your image in the dictionary. This life is more than ordinary. Can I get 2, maybe even 3 of these coming from space to teach you about the Pleiades?" So this whole song is kind of about like manipulating humanity like that. I can't remember the damn name of the song, but I always remember that song when it came out. I was like, damn, they're straight up telling us the truth. It's called Can't Stop. That's what the name of that song is. Anyway, I think that's all I had for D26. And this thing about watch the water and the snake venom in the water, this is also an allegory. So, like, if you look at a syringe with vaccines in it, it just looks like water, like they're injecting water into you. And then if you look at the logo for, the petropharmaceutical poison industry, it's a snake. It's the snake, the caduceus thing. So, venom in the water. It's just talking about that there's, petrochemical poisons in the vaccine syringe water. That there's no, like the one caller said, you can't, like, I'm going to put snake venom in like the tap water and everybody's going to get sick or anything. It wouldn't do anything, especially the amount maybe if you drink like a full cup of snake venom, which, they probably have to harvest from hundreds of snakes, maybe you would get sick. But if you just took the same amount of venom from a snake that would bite you and, and cause a lot of harm to you and you drank it, it wouldn't do absolutely anything. So, that's just, these are all like allegories, I think, just to kind of tell us the truth and see who's actually really awake. Another thing I wanted to comment on is some researchers throughout the years that I've been in like contact with and shared information with, after a certain amount of time, like I'll write something down to tell them, and then like, I'll be watching one of their live streams, like, I hadn't told them yet, and then they just start saying it without even me even sending them the email or sending them the information. So I had some stuff written down that's been written down here for like probably a month that I wanted to talk about. And I was like, I don't know how people were going to take that stuff. And maybe I don't even know how Zach would take it, being that his sweet lady is also, a foreigner. But then you brought it out yourself. You're like, bringing in these high left-brained IQ foreigners to go to these, education, to go through our higher educational system here, and bringing them from these super subservient cultures like the Asian cultures or Indian cultures where, they just bend over to government tyranny and just ask how far should we spread our cheeks. They just lay down.
That's exactly what it's all about, man. That's exactly what it's all about. So
yeah, so you bring people like that into this country, you weaken us. It's just like if we got a solid basketball team, then you bring guys on who don't hustle back on defense, guys who, throw all kinds of wild passes, turning the ball over constantly. Then you just screwed up the team, So this is what they've done. They've weakened us. And then on top of all that, they give them all the freaking useful idiot jobs that censor us and, that are actually, bringing communism in. So, yeah, that's definitely, and people don't understand, like, immigration of any kind destroys the country if you're bringing them in from a lower valued monetary system, because they're coming in and they're going to take all the lower jobs that most of that country is already surviving on. So it's going to mess up the dynamic they already have, no matter even if they're good people, even if they're somewhat rebellious or whatever, it doesn't. But then when you go all the way to bring in these, these cultures that are super subservient, I mean, you see them on the street, man. They walk in the street where the cars could run them over just because they're afraid of you. Maybe you're going to give them a disease. I mean, it's insane. They're the most compliant, no matter where you go. The Asian cultures are the most compliant, and it's white people next. I don't know what's been going on with the ones I see that are the most rebellious are the blacks. I don't know what's going on. We have a lot of Hispanics here in Southern California and California in general, and usually they're fairly rebellious. In Mexico, nobody's wearing masks, but for some reason, the ones that came here, probably the weakest ones that couldn't survive over there, they're wearing masks like crazy. I got into
That's true.
Pretty serious arguments, and stores were just, it's all Mexican shop there. Mostly everybody speaking Spanish, and even the security guards are have broken English. So I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you guys? I'm about to move to Mexico because it's the least communist country, and you communist Mexicans are coming up here. What the hell's wrong with you guys? Explain to them what the hell are you doing here? You could have done this shit in your country. You don't have to come here to do this. You already had. It's more feasible for you to do this stuff in your country where it's already, so much tyranny, especially to the Asians, So yeah, you're right on point on that. And people really need to get their head together. That's not racist or anything like that. This is part of the greater, if you look at the Kalergi plan and the Greater Israel Project, this is literally their modus operandi. They want to infiltrate every country with people from the other country to bring that weaken that one and bring it down and just keep going down the line and taking them down.
That's part of the game of starting the wars too, because then that's what sets up the whole thing for shuffling people to different countries and refugees. And
yeah, 100%. They're pushing in right now. They're trying to push in a bunch of these Ukrainian refugees in different spots in Croatia, and the people, not that they don't want to help, they're just like, fuck no. It's a little different when you go into a country where, like, in my country, everybody's Croatian. I mean, there's some people, like, when I was really young, there's most of the people, like, when I would go over there every summer for 3 months, a lot of the people, they never even seen a black guy in person ever before. Like, it's just, and then a black guy came on the island, a soccer player, but he's like, oh shit, you see that guy? And we're laughing. I'm at home. I'm on 2 basketball teams. I'm the only white guy on both of them, so it's like, it's a trip. And when you have that type of community where everybody's like feels the same, there's a sense that you want to protect that, and so they try to push the gay agenda, like in one of the main cities, like in the main coast city, maybe a few years ago, they had the first gay parade like ever in Croatia, and some of the younger men just of the town just went down and beat the living fuck out of like 5 people. That's it. Parade was over. Never had another one. That was it. So, that's kind of like when you have culture that's all together and bands together like that, they're going to come together for a cause. They're like, you're not doing this shit in front of my kids. Fuck no, absolutely not. Throwing you all in the ocean, and then all the rest of the, the betas ran away. They had to ship these people in because you can't even like really honestly come out in Croatia and say you're gay. You're going to get super ostracized. And like, it's kind of like how it was here maybe before we were born, 40, 50, 60 years ago, whatever, where you dare not say you're gay because whole family would disown you. And, I'm not saying I have anything against gays, but I'm just saying this is how the culture is in a lot of these Eastern European countries. They don't tolerate this bullshit, this new age, cultureless, whitewasher culture and bring in transhumanism and transgender and all that. They're not down with that at all. Like a lot of the men are like actually men, it's like, you're not doing this shit.
Hey, yo, speaking of the,
we need a lot of that energy here. Thank you for bringing that up. And, people who think that's racist, you got to get your head out of your ass. There's nothing to do with it,
Somebody wants to comment on something you're saying right now.
Hey, yo, speaking of the gay agenda, check the private chat, Zach. It's from See Through the Script and the Ukraine president doing some type of ritual. How they be doing behind the scenes.
How long
ago
did he post this comment?
You see the post?
I'm trying to. How long ago did he post?
Did I post it? Like, how long did I?
You said see through. Oh, did you say it's in the private chat?
Yeah, it's in the private chat.
Oh. Are you saying click on that Instagram link?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, I just saw that yesterday about the. I don't know if you seen that with the Ukraine president. You know how they just be mocking us all the way, just mocking us all the way.
Is he in this?
Yes, he is in this.
Yeah, he's the one, the short guy.
Oh, there he is.
Right there.
This one.
Okay.
But didn't you guys know this? This is a very old video.
Dressed in high heels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's coming out that this guy's participated in, so yeah.
The mockery. It's just a mockery. That's all I gotta say. But I think I gotta go. That's all I have. But
all right. Well, I appreciate you contributing and thanks for everything you shared and
definitely
for this latest little tip. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a joke it is.
Yeah.
Right, I can only look at that for so long. All right. All right, man. You have a good night. Thank you. Go on.
What was that city in Croatia you just mentioned before I called in? You asked me about
Dubrovnik.
Okay, yeah, that's like the main. It's not the main, but it's like on postcards and stuff. If you Google like Croatia, that's the city that'll pop up because it's got this like ancient wall that's all around it. It looks really picturesque and like, people are like, wow, it's like the Great Wall of China built around the little. So that's like a popular. It is a popular tourist destination too. In the old town, all the streets are made out of marble, and like it's pretty honed from everyone walking on it. So like at night when the lights turn on and everything, the streets look like they glow kind of. And then it was at one point, I think like the square footage inside the old town, like which would be inside that wall, was like higher than like Hong Kong or something. It was like the highest property value in the world for a moment, just to get a like all the old people that had their homes in the old town inside the walls were like selling, little, shitty little like 3-story, like it's almost like a brownstone in New York for, a couple million. And, that was unheard of. So, yeah, I gotta watch that now. I gotta watch why they're using Dubrovnik for. What's the point?
Yeah, they bring it up. So,
and that was also during the fake war, during the fake Balkan War. There's like a hill right above that city with like a cross on it, kind of like how in Brazil you have that statue or whatever, but it ain't a statue, just a cross. And then, they had like, apparently the Serbs were just lobbing mortar over that little hill when it was obviously just like total U.S. military involvement. We're like, how did they get here? Like, they would have had to come through all these like beach towns and villages to come there, but then they're lobbing mortar over. It was so obvious that the CIA was just totally running a fake war. We're like in the club till 4, 5, 6 in the morning, and you could see the mortar right over the hill, lighting up the night sky. Like, I mean, obviously, if everybody's in disco drinking and partying, there's no sense of danger. Like people just know that it's bullshit, but like you see, it's right over the hill, like maybe 5 miles away, and you're just like, but you got a beer in your hand and you're in the disco. So that's how real some of these wars are. Did they displace a lot of people in Croatia and fuck it up? Yeah, they did. But that's how real the war really is. Same thing what's going on in Ukraine.
Sure. I noticed the flag of that town is that of a Catholic saint. So
yeah, it's been totally taken over. Apparently my village on the island is like the oldest part of like the first town in Croatia. It's like 2,400 years old. So like before Christ, and you could see some of the statues and some of the stuff is, like positive oriented. And then when the Catholics get, then you start seeing reptilian imagery and, dragon shit and stuff like that they started putting in. And then, of course they built a couple of their churches on the island, and they had, I don't know if you remember a Freemason before who was like the puppet that was running Yugoslavia. His name was Tito. He was another guy. They were just, they had a bunch of mistresses around him, like Kennedy, and, he was just supposedly running the country when he wasn't. And they had a hiding place for him on the island, which was like these caves. At one point, the Nazis were on the island, and whether they excavated these caves or whatever, but then, we've been through all these caves as kids and stuff. We found like, they had like a little room. You go 100 yards into a cave crawling, and then all of a sudden it opens up into a room, and there's like a desk and some books and stuff. So what was going on in these places? Who the hell knows? Were they trafficking, people? Were they? Who knows? There's we found all kinds of old like dynamite. They were using like to mine some of the holes out for these tunnel systems and stuff. So there's a little bit of history on my island, even though now it just looks like just an island with a couple small villages on it that's beautiful in the summer, but it has some history. So I definitely can see it just from walking around the island. Like this architecture and this imagery compared to this is like total polar opposites. So it's definitely there.
very interesting. Was there anything else you want to talk about tonight?
What else I can't remember anything else.
If you want to take a minute to think about it, we had another person enter the room while you were talking.
Yeah, for sure. Go on to somebody else. Like I'm just another person in the room.
Okay, I'll just keep you on the phone in case you think of something. But hey, what's up, Joe?
Yo, Zach. I just like got high and I started like thinking about something. So I'm like, I wonder if the live stream's still going on. I'm gonna go back into it because I have a real question. And that question is, it kind of starts with a comment because police are omnipresent in our society. Like you might have everybody in society, like for example, it's common for a person in your society, wherever that may be, to like there's a police officer who's the father of like a friend, like a father, like you might know a police officer, like you might know one and stuff. And like basically it's like, how are we gonna convince that like these people, like, because I know some like police officers, and it's like, how are we ever gonna convince, like, I just showed the numbers with all the 33s, like you can just go on and on with all the 33s, but like the question is like, how are we gonna convince, like, how can these people like that are just like at the donut shop like shooting the shit and stuff, like how can that like they be involved with like this, like these shootings that happen and stuff? It's like there's like it's not a very easy like question to ask or like to answer. It's like very nuanced. Like it's like,
Well, I think we saw it. I think we saw it when I went to the shooting in Washington. All the police are in the parking lot just following orders, standing outside like idiots, while the feds are inside. And, you got the one guy who's the captain just relaying what he's told to say through his cell phone. So, I mean, they might not even know. Hey, in other news, it is May 1st, 5-1, and there were 2 basketball games today on 5-1, and the 2 teams that won became 5-1 in the playoffs. So, go figure.
just they might not.
Well, it is. I realize we went past the 3-hour mark too. I told Sweet Lady I wouldn't go this late. You guys want to do closing words and we can wrap it up for tonight?
Yeah, I'm good.
So
I'm good. Have a good night.
Okay. What about you, DK? You got any closing thoughts?
I was just right here looking at, I know you talked about Elon Musk's mom. I mentioned this before, but Elon Musk's mom was in the Manson murders roundup way back when. And then I was just trying to find the video. She used to do like videos like Madonna. She was a singer and, get all dressed up on stage and do Illuminati style videos. But it looks like they scrubbed all those from YouTube right now. All it's showing is her, what is this, makeup commercial. She's in Beyonce's video. She's doing CoverGirl. So none of the old stuff where she's a young chick and just on stage doing. I mean, she just looks like anybody we have right now. And they scrub. I would probably have to go down 100 links to find out. I was just going to email it to you. But yeah, she's an actress fraud. And then her son's an actor fraud. So yeah, these are bloodlines that they've been recruiting as court jesters for thousands of years. And, now I don't know if, I think maybe like it's like the Khazar bloodlines are doing the recruiting for these. And then the ones that are like doing all this would be like maybe Mizrahi and Sephardic and other kinds of imposters that are like their court jester families. The most of these politicians are the Khazars, but you notice like in the entertainment, the people that kind of have to entertain everybody, which I call the court jesters, they're not of these families. They're like the lower tier. So it appears that, the Khazar families, some of which top are like Jesuits, are being controlled by, these black nobility families, which then in turn control these lower tier families that are running all the news and all that crap, or all the ones we see on TV anyway. Those are all the court jester families. And then, then the shit rolls all the way downhill onto our heads, I guess, at the bottom. We're holding the pyramid up and you take a shit on the top of the pyramid, slides down the edge on the side and lands on our heads, I guess.
Indeed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right. Appreciate you tuning in as always. You have a good night, friend.
You too. Thanks.
Yeah. Take care. All right. Anybody else still on the stream got closing thoughts?
Yeah, I just want to add something real quick about this, like a ridiculous movie about, the water and the snake venom, which, I mean, even if you could drink snake venom and it would work, I mean, how would they ever get enough of it to taint a water supply. It just doesn't make any sense. But it doesn't mean that they're not doing something with the water, because I've noticed a lot of things that have to do with the, like, you know, the big, when Trump got coronavirus, it was the big 110 ritual, and you know, in exactly 110 weeks before the pandemic declaration on 3/11, on the day of January 31st, another day written 3/11, he pulled out of the Clean Water Act. So I mean, people should still be careful with their water. But I just wanted to add that.
Indeed. Yeah, and that whole watch the water thing, I mean, it's mostly misinformation, but the one thing it does get right at the end is he said it seems to all go back to the Pope, and that's not far off the mark. So
Interesting. All right, good night.
all right, man. Yeah, you have a good night too. Was there anybody else on the stream that had any parting words?
Yeah, I just got to share this whatever I have shared on the private chat. If you can just look into that, it will just take a few minutes.
Okay.
So just before the link that Shelby had shared, I made two messages about that the 9/11 Commission, the committee had requested for $11 million and they received 9 out of 11. So again, you get the 9/11 reference over there in the 9/11 Commission. And since I said that it was on first hearing was on March 31st, Jeff Young's birthday, March 31 equals 177 and 201. As well as this happened when you were at the site at the OKC Memorial. I made a comment at that time, and this might have reached to you, that June 13 equals 201. Is also the day leaving 201 days left in the year, which is when
Timothy McVeigh was sentenced to death.
Timothy
It's also
McVeigh was
the
sentenced to death.
birthday.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's also the birthday of the governor of Arkansas who replaced Clinton, and again, McVeigh supposedly got radicalized in Arkansas. So
I didn't know about the Arkansas story. Sorry. So that is the thing, and the other thing is that the one which you have on the post right now, on the screen right now, the 168. This is what Keita had found this before making the trip, that on the last 19th of April, a couple of weeks back, they had 168 seconds of silence for the 168 dead persons on OKC 19, 27th anniversary of OKC 19. So, and which, if you look it up as the power of 2, because 256 is the 8th power of number 2, so you can even translate that as 28 or 82. And if you just go down, probably one must have that, and I need to look into that.
yeah, that is interesting. So
because to be honest, with the 28s, I have an entire list of all the 28s. If you just give me a minute, I will let you. I wouldn't go with all those things. I don't have it right now for some reasons. Okay. Israel, Tel Aviv. You know, all those numbers which I'm talking about, then they all equal 28. They all sync up, and they're all interrelated words, like Egypt and Cairo equals 28. Israel equals 28. Tel Aviv equals 28. So what, rockets equals 28 for some reasons. What else?
Is D26 the one that brought 129-201 to the community?
this is D26 talking right now. D26, was it you who first noticed that 129 was 201 in base 8? I know you'd noticed that 56 is 70 in base 8.
No, I was the one who introduced the base 12 numbers, which is 289 equals 201 in base 12, and 201 in base 12 is equals to 149. And both can be interpreted as 29th and 28th of September and 14th of September.
I only asked that because that 129's been hitting in major leagues. Yesterday, you know how George Floyd's full name is 201? Well, the Rays and the Twins both became 12-9 this weekend. and Tampa Bay is 25, just like death. So it was like a big George Floyd 201 ritual, kind of, because both teams got to 12-9, like in the same game. And that's helpful, like knowing that 129 is 201, like Georgetown's 129.
Right.
Yeah, I was not the one who found that. I knew 129. I knew that 129 eBay state is 201, but I was not the one who coined that. Because when I joined the community, when I've started coming up, because I'm following Zach for more than a year, but I started posting. Started with my first call on TFR back in February. So by that time, already people knew that. At least Zach knew that 129 is 201 in basic counting. But just the tweet which you have on the screen, it's a thread. It's just like 4 or 5 tweets. But if you can just like scroll it down, you will find all the stories or loose comments about OKC 19. Anti-government equals 201 and 179 again. And with the 168, I had something else as well.
You have it here. I was gonna say federal building equals 129, but you got it here, so there it is. And again, from
Okay.
the day it blew up to the day they made the memorial was 129 weeks later.
Oh, I didn't know that. Can you repeat the 129 weeks again?
Yeah. So here, I'll just put it up on the screen so you can see it. So here, I'm going to put in the date that it blew up, April 19th, 1995, and the day that Clinton made it the memorial. He signed the legislation to create the memorial. It was 129 weeks and 1 day later. So.
And this is something else that since there were 168 dead.
680 injured, by the way, is also what they say.
Reverse of that. No. But it's the same number as jumbled up. But the 168, New York City equals 168. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah. And Queen, however you spell it, Queen Semiramis is also 168. And again, it's her tears that resurrected Tammuz, which is the ritual, the pagan ritual before Easter, since it blew up right next to Easter. And then again, the Catholic Church across the street has the statue of "And Jesus Wept." So Jesus crying, and then Queen Semiramis's tears is what resurrected Tammuz. So it's obvious that it's all connected.
In regards to New York City being 168,
it's also 129, New York City.
Right. The Mets tomorrow can get to 16-8 with a loss and become 7-4 at home, when New York City is on the 74th Meridian West.
And isn't there Park 70? What is it? City Bank Field or something?
City Field.
City Field, isn't it 74? Or no, never mind, 77.
77, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I found the number with the 28, right? Which I was talking about in the most pure cipher, which you said. We learned it from the Manly Hall, the alphabet with the rules of numerology. Just look at the thing with the 28. Okay, Israel equals 28. So does Tel Aviv equals 28. Tisha B'av equals 28. Rockets equals 28. Zion equals 28. So does the name the tetragrammaton YHWH equals 28. By the way, YouTube also equals 28. Number equals 28. 0 equals 28. Egypt and Cairo both equals 28. Macron, and with the Macron, did you decode about the recent French elections? And I won't go much, but just I did have that. Okay, I'll just find
D12
on the Macron.
I see there were May Day protests in Paris.
To be very quick, like just if you can even put the timer on like 100 seconds, I can just go with that fast. With the French elections, where is the French election now? Oh yeah, I got it. The name of that. So okay, Macron wins by 58%. The opposite candidate, who he was fighting against, her name Marine Le Pen equals 58. So that's Freemasonry, secret society. Emmanuel Macron equals 58. Since Macron won the second term, I just interpreted it as the second coming, which also equals 58. And the word two, TWO, equals 58 as well. Okay, I won't go much into that. That's it. Just for like a quick rundown with the French elections. So it was all on the news. 58, 42. Joshua equals 42.
All right. Well, I appreciate the additional observations, and I think we can call it a night. Thank you to the people who made donations. Question mark donated $5, and Truth Seeker 22 donated $2.22 two times. And they said sigils are everywhere, and the word sigil itself also equals 56 and 79, like Society of Jesus. And they also said New York, New York. I think they're talking about September 11th. So again, save the date, September 11th, New York. I'm going to finally make the trip out there this year. There's no way we can miss it. The time is now. And yeah.
Zach.
Yeah.
What was that one thing you were talking about with Jeff Young that's coming up that you were talking about? You were saying you wish you could sing or something because there's Jeff Young's going to be doing something in California.
Oh, he wants to do he wants to play music and then also just like get out the message down on the street in LA. So we'll do that too at some point in the near future.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So.
And New York, that's a good idea too. So,
yeah, indeed.
But,
all right. We'll leave it there.
Have a good one, Zach.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and for you, D26, have a good day.
Yep. Good night to you. Good night to everyone else.
All right. Take care, all.